Right again. Good morning, glory, hallelujah to you. What the heck's your story and what's going through you? We're living like kings off the fat of the land and living in this bass fishing galaxy. It's what it is. We're here at the Forest Wood Cup, FLW Cup 2019 final day. This is Stray Cast, the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show, and I'm Pat Renwick. Give it up now for bass fishing. Bass fishing. That's why we're here, remember? Everyone remember why we're here? It's bass fishing. We're here because of bass fishing. Remember someday why I'm saying this. We're here because of bass fishing.
I am glad you reminded me.
Thank you very much.
That often.
Some people do forget this. We're here because of bass fishing. You know who else is here because of bass fishing? This guy right here. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever on the Stray Cast Show, the world infamous Mr. Paul Benson. That's him.
Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, you can talk now.
I'm here for bass fishing as well.
You are here for bass fishing as well.
Yeah.
Why does everyone forget that we're here for bass fishing? Not everyone, but a lot of people sometimes forget, Paul.
We get caught up in the day-to-day hustle and bustle of the important things like who was right on the internet, who has the newest color shirt, hat, reel, whatever.
Biggest truck rims.
Truck rims
are very important.
Yes.
Most
exactly.
LED lights on boat deck.
Yes.
So, but that's all right. We're still here. They're still catching bass out there. We just checked in. How big of a mental challenge would it be for you? It'd be impossible for me, but to imagine that you had to chase down Brian Thrift with a 7-pound lead on day 3.
I don't think I have the capacity for that whatsoever.
Yeah.
My brain would explode. I'd go to dinner early.
Yeah. He's locked in. He's dialed in. Everything's good. The good thing is there's 9 other anglers out there who want it as bad as he does, who are giving it their all. I mean, I can't stress enough that when you get to the highest level in bass fishing, and you've seen it from a lot of these guys, but the pressure and the drive is just next level. It's just different world type status.
And Brian Thrift is a different beast altogether.
Yeah.
It's I do not see him letting this go. I don't see and not that Jason Christie did it intentionally at Hartwell, but I don't see that situation happening here.
No, it'll take somebody having that. You've interviewed more champions on the FLW Tour, Elite Series, all of it all together in the history of your show than I've probably talked to, but every one of them says the same thing. When I talk to them, it was my day, it was my time. Everyone says it was out of my control. I didn't do it. It just happened that way. So if someone were to catch that mysterious 7-pounder in Lake Hamilton, it just happened.
It is.
That's what it would take. Absolutely, a giant fish.
Yeah.
And again, that's not to get cliche on it, but although I say I don't think Thrift will let it go. As you said, Paul, it's anybody's ball game because that's bass fishing.
Yep.
I mean, it really is. You're the tough part about me as a bass angler, and obviously I'm not a professional fisherman. I just love to fish. And
sure you are. No, I consider you a professional.
Okay, whatever. But they cut it out. Cut it out. So, but when I start having a bad day on the water, it's hard for me to overcome. Even though it's a fun day on the water, my thoughts go otherwhere. I still want to be on the water, but I don't feel that I'm performing to my maximum potential because of bad situations that might happen on the water. That's the part. I couldn't overcome any of that. Now, take Brian Thrift that you're chasing there, or no matter what top-notch competitor, it's overwhelming. Overwhelming. It's crazy. Crazy talk.
Well, and you got to remember, you got guys out there like Scott Martin, Dakota, I don't know how to say his last name, Ebar.
Fanning. Dakota Fanning.
Dakota, and I apologize for butchering his last name. I'm terrible with pronouncing stuff like that. I don't like vowels. But he dropped 14 on the scales yesterday.
That was awesome.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
You know,
That's
so
an example.
You have these young guys that have the drive. They have something to prove. You know, Brian's had something to prove for years, but he's proven it time and time again, and he may prove it again today. But these young guys that are coming up, like they're hungry.
Oh,
they
yeah.
They are feisty. I would not want to knife fight any of them.
You can see the gleam in their eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
This
don't count-
morning, I went to launch this morning, and that focus and that drive was just, you could just feel it in the air. You know, good little crowd. FLW always puts on a good show, but those 10 guys lined up, you could just see that they were just ready to perform at top notch, and that's what makes it exciting for bass fishing, exciting for our industry. You know, I don't care what championship you're fishing for. I've seen a lot of the kids that were fishing, you know, junior TBF championship, high school TBF championship, things of that nature this weekend. We're gonna have this for a long, long time because that competition is what drives them.
Yeah.
There's been seeds planted way back, and it seems that maybe for a time that tree finally grew up in bass fishing. I'm referring metaphorically to bass fishing. But then
The bass fishing tree.
Yeah, the bass fishing tree. But then there was a new crop of seeds. When do you think? Now, are you following me? Let's go 1968, first seeds, okay, and then evolution, tree grows, full tree. When do you think that the new seeds for the new era of bass fishing got planted, Paul? What time frame, era-wise?
I don't think they ever stopped getting planted.
Really?
Whether it be through Bassmaster magazine, whether it be through watching. I'm in North Georgia, just above Atlanta. Orlando Wilson's a local guy that was on TV.
Absolutely.
You know,
One of our favorites.
Whether you watch Bill Dance, Roland
There he
Martin,
is.
Hank Parker.
I
There
called
you
a
go.
friend and said, let's go try our luck.
There you go.
They said, I'm sorry, Paul Benson, I can't go. I'm watching the Orlando Wilson fishing show.
There you go. That's the deal. He still just mints money in Adairsville, Georgia. Great guy, good guy.
So you know where he is?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Really?
know his.
Wait a minute.
I know his son, his daughter,
Wow.
his grandkids go to the same school as my nephew and niece. But they're all good family, good kids.
Does he still use left-handed ambassadors?
I don't know how much he fishes anymore.
Okay. Is he in good health or bad health?
Good health, good
Okay.
health, good money. He's real good friends with Bobby Cox, the manager of the Braves.
Okay.
They're like
Yeah,
little money cohorts up there in Adairsville. You know, he's still a strapping, you know, little guy.
Okay.
So,
Has he taken off the Braves hat yet?
Probably not.
Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen. He's
So
still
why-
Does he really
rocking
wear it all the
Why
time
did he
still?
stop? I don't know if anyone knows the answer. What?
I've never asked. The next time I see any of them, I'll ask him. You know what happened? I think a few years ago, his daughter tried to get him to fire back up and do a show with her.
Okay.
Which would have been just awesome.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. I don't know.
It just disappeared.
Yeah.
I mean, like, seriously, boom.
Maybe something within the TBS machine.
Ah.
Was that when TBS switched to Turner? Because I know for a long time it was just a TBS-based deal. You know, being in Atlanta, that everything, people still call it, you know, TBS instead of Turner Television
Right,
or
right,
whatever
yeah.
it's become now. It's probably Cartoon Network by now.
Yeah.
I haven't had cable in like 3 years. I don't watch television.
Yeah, it's, I mean, Orlando Wilson was a very important part of my childhood, honestly.
Well, and that's your original question was, when did the seeds for this generation get planted?
Yeah.
You know, I think they continue to get planted when they see things like, you know, you see a Jordan Lee come along. You know, he grew up watching Kevin Van Dam win,
Right.
and then he goes to fishing against him. I don't think those seeds ever stop. And the unfortunate thing, David Williams, FLW Tour Pro, actually, he just walked in
Saw him
right
over
over there. He and I were talking about it yesterday, and he was talking about how late in the game he got a start. And you can, you know, you or I could go next year, and we could fish the FLW Tour if we qualified through the Costas or however we get on tour, or just pay our entry fee and give Bill Taylor a little extra kicker maybe. You know, I don't know.
Buy him some Arby's.
Yeah, I don't know what the full range of qualifications require, but at our age, I'm 41. We could take off and start a career fishing now if we wanted to do that to ourselves. But I think we're smarter than that at this point. We like what we do, and we want to stay in our lane.
We enjoy meals.
Yeah, I do not want to go against those guys that are out there right now because they're tough. But in today's world, from the solicitations that I get, with high school angling and college angling becoming as big as it is, there are thousands of new Kevin Van Dams every year.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands.
And again, we've been talking about that Erwin Jacobs quote all week, how great bass fishing is, how much happiness it brings to so many people's life, yet there are so many people in the world that don't even know what the hell it is.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yep.
So there's plenty of room to sow more seeds.
Oh, and that seed can be sown at, like, there's no predetermined notion, like, if you grow up and you're 14 years old, 6'2", 280, chiseled cut, you're going to be an offensive lineman somewhere. Like, that's all. Like, with bass fishing, there's no preconceived determinant as to whether you can be great or not. You have to have the drive, you have to have the desire, you have to have the want. I think most every really, really good bass fisherman that I've ever seen has some advanced form of ADHD or whatever.
Of course
some of those, like, I think they the overanalyzation and the amount of detail that they put into what they do is amazing. I don't see how they keep it all straight in their head, but they do. But there's a bunch of kids coming, and that's what makes it fun. I've talked to one. He's walking around here, Stephen Tyson Davis Jr.
Yes, he was having trouble picking you up.
I'm a little uncomfortable with this large.
You want to train? You want to trade?
This is like a CIA experiment, isn't it? You're like, bring the new guy on, pull out the pink mic cover. We're gonna mess with him a little bit. If anything comes out of the end of this, you've had it.
This is not the Jackass show. Almost, but not quite.
Exactly.
Yeah. We haven't pranked anybody
I will
yet.
talk closer if that's needed. Just signal me. Is he Facebook and Tinder?
I think he's Tindering, right? He's swiping
Tindering?
right. Yeah.
So, he's I'm sure Hot Springs is just full of bountiful, Tinder matches for you.
Why do you think they call it Hot Springs?
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what the draw to Hot Springs is as far as tourism, but it is 100. There are motels here from the 20s.
Isn't it crazy?
Still functioning, and the one I'm staying in is probably like a 40s vintage, but it's clean, it's nice, and it's $39 a room. So based on the amount of rods we've sold this weekend, it works well.
It did well, didn't it?
Yeah. So,
Speaking of rods, for those that don't know, you are the vice president in charge of top secret altercations and developmental control for Cashion Rods.
Yes, sir. That's exactly.
It's a long
what
title,
we do.
but you wear it well.
We're trying to lengthen it, but we're running out of consonants in the alphabet. So we do have a little 100% made in the United States product on our Elite Series. We roll our own blanks in Sanford, North Carolina. The owner of the company, Dr. Matthew Cashion, has a PhD in chemistry.
Aha.
So we when people say it's not rocket science, like, we put some rocket science into it.
Yes, it is.
Threw a little in there, didn't you?
Yep. We formulate our own epoxies. We work with the pre-preg manufacturers to formulate different, essentially, I like to call them recipes.
Okay.
Because that's kind of lay speak. That's
Sure.
layman's terms. Mm-hmm. And we just produce our own recipes for the base composites, to make them a little bit better, a little bit stronger, a little bit more sensitive. We do sell blanks. We do sell, our carbon fiber grips. We sell those to Mudhole. People can buy them on Mudhole. They can email us, and we can sell them direct to them. So we
Awesome.
sell components as well.
How long has Cashion been around?
Matt started the company in 2009. We
Okay.
incorporated in 2010, so next year will be our 10th anniversary officially. And we've got some big things coming. We've got some pretty significant changes coming that hopefully next year when we're sitting here we can talk about, a bunch of new stuff that we've been working on a long time. we are very patient and we are very diligent when we put anything out. We do not do anything quickly, you know. We really try to do our research and make sure that we're making quality business decisions. We've got 9 employees. We want to, you know, maintain them, keep their jobs, keep everything built here in the United States. The majority of our profits at this point go back into the company. We reinvest into the company, whether it be equipment, technology, or whatnot, to help grow the company. I mean, I would love to go from 9 to 90 employees in 5 years and to 900 employees in 10 years.
Sure.
I mean, that's what we want to do, is maintain that built in America product and bring some of it home.
Absolutely. Now, were you guys the first rod manufacturer to use those carbon fiber grips like that?
I don't have that in any kind of form, but I haven't had anybody contest me saying
I know that was the first place I saw it, was on the Cashion
I
rods.
think we are, but I haven't ever done the research. We're real big on, while I'm friends with a lot of other manufacturers. Trevor and I have talked multiple times this weekend. Shane and Sandy Cox, Hammer Rods, were here. You know, I try to maintain, you know, professional decorum and friendships with these guys, because I truly like these people and they do a good job, and I want them to be able to make, you know, 100% made in America product. There's enough business for all of us, so we don't have to compete. I'm friends with, you know, the folks at Lou's. It's a very friendly industry
Sure.
that we're in, so I haven't had anybody contest it to date, but I think we were the first. The second ones I saw, there was a company before Loomis started partnering with the Edge folks, and I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, Lake Fork Composites or something?
Well, no, that's North.
Oh, Temple Fork. I don't know. North Fork.
Temple Fork. Gary did partner
Gary.
with Temple Fork. After Temple Fork, there was like a new, it was all black. I don't remember the name of the manufacturer. It's not in business anymore, but that was like the second carbon fiber guy. So
Gotcha.
that was the first one that I saw, and I went to Matt and said, hey, these guys are doing what we do, you know. And then now, like, I know Batson's doing one. Bill Batson's a great guy, great technology in his product. And we like to see that. We like to see folks reinvesting in their product, reinvesting in their company, and reinvesting in this industry.
Absolutely. And the fishing rod has evolved along with the bass fishing industry immensely. Okay, I mean, think about it. Like, when I was a young kid, it was a 6-foot rod was a long rod.
Yeah.
All right. And then the pistol grip was obviously the deal.
I've got a pistol grip in the boot.
I saw you guys are doing that over there. It's pretty cool.
Love it.
And then, so basically, what today's modern bass fishing rods are light saltwater rods, if you think about it. Because after Bo Dowden won the Bassmaster Classic, I think it was in the Thousand Islands, what was that,
1980.
In 1980, that's when the rod industry shifted, if you notice, because he was using a Cotton Cordell 7-foot, long-handled bass rod. And then after that, that's when you start to see the progression of the long-handled bass rods coming up and then moving in length, 7 foot, 7.6, eventually 8 foot. And
I need to hang out with you more to learn some of that history.
I'm a rod
Yeah.
freak.
Because I enjoy it. I like that, but I would have been. You said 1980.
80. Yeah.
I would have been 2. So
I was -3.
nice. I like it. I would not have known it had you not told me. So that's interesting to learn.
I'm glad you
like
enjoyed it.
I dig it. I'm all about the history, and I think that's something that we have historians. You know, I like to call him a good friend. I do not get to spend enough time talking to him, learning from him, but I love Ken Duke.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's just a wonderful person.
How does he know so much?
Wonderful man, and when I have a history nugget that I need, like, I'm like, hey, Ken, what's the real story? What really happened? Like, it got written this way, or it, you know, people tell the story this way. You call Ken, he knows exactly what you're talking about, when it happened, how it happened, who was first, who, you know, owned what. He just really amazing with what that man
Imagine how much is in his brain that he doesn't know is in his brain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's
and bass fishing historians are so special because there's no it's really hard to get the information.
Yeah.
Like any other historian, in wars or whatever, it's all out there. You
Yeah.
can read all the books.
Documented.
Bass fishing, non-documented. You gotta know people.
The written records are lacking, and we need to write some of that down.
Yes.
What was the film company that did that chatterbait story? Below 30?
Oh, that's Mark
20
Jeffries
foot deep.
with,
Or
20 foot deep.
20 below zero.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he had to cut his arm
20
off when he
below
got
the
cut in
thermocline.
the crevice of the rocks. Remember?
That was one of the best video documentaries
Yes.
I've seen.
Oh, it was amazing.
Awesome.
On anything.
Jeffries all his
It's
documentaries
inspiring.
are good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would love to see more of that.
You want to hear some cool bass fishing history?
Let's hear it.
So I'll tell you a quick story.
Okay.
So yesterday I'm at the weigh-in, as you were, Paul, and I went over into the media section, I guess. What do you call that in the front? Right there where the FLW people are and stuff. And I'm walking.
That's the orchestra pit.
The orchestra pit. Thank you very much, Ryan. So I'm walking to the orchestra pit, and who calls me over but Forrest Wood?
Oh.
Forrest Wood called me over. All right, this is like a life moment for me. I want you to know, okay?
By name, or did he say like, "Here, ponytail"?
He,
Come here.
he said,
Ponytail.
he said, "Hey, hippie." no, but he just flagged me over. Him and Nine are sitting right there, and he said, "Hey, how can I watch that show of yours?" And I'm like, "Well, I'll tell you what, Forrest." So I sit down next to Forrest, and Forrest gives me his number, and it's a very easy to remember number, and he told me it was, and they gave him that number on purpose just so he would remember it.
Nice.
It was outstanding. And I proceeded to show Forrest how to get stray casts on his iTunes podcast, which, by the way, all these are available after the fact on iTunes podcast, whatever your favorite podcast source is. And Forrest, I showed him how to do the podcast. He said, "Do you have any pictures?" I sent him a picture, and I sent him the website. So now me and Forrest are like best buds,
That's
know.
awesome.
He just lent me like $500, and he said I don't even got to pay him back. It's pretty cool.
Is your
That's a big day for you.
right there? That's the next $1 million man
There
right
he
there.
is. There he
David
is.
Williams,
There he is.
ladies and gentlemen. He's hungry for next year. I can promise you. He loves the schedule, with the exception of Rayburn.
Oh,
but he said he's going to tackle it. So is Forrest personally delivering your Vexus next week?
Yes.
No.
He's not bringing you a new boat?
No, he's not bringing me a new boat. But so anyway, I get to talk now. Forrest and I are talking, and do you remember? He could not remember, and I remembered the name for him. Do you remember Tom Mann's pet bass?
I heard of Tom Mann's pet bass just because I'm in Georgia in proximity to Eufaula, but I do not remember it.
Tom Mann's pet bass was Leroy Brown.
Okay.
Leroy Brown was the baddest bass in the whole damn town.
Yeah.
And Tom Mann had him, the late great Tom Mann of Mann's Bay Company, had Leroy Brown in a tank in his office. And all those guys at the time.
In Eufaula, Alabama.
In Eufaula, Alabama, okay? And all those guys were buds at the time. Jerry McInnes and Forrest Wood and Bill Dance and Roland and Rayo Breckenridge and all those guys hanging out. You heard a few of those guys.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right? So Leroy Brown unfortunately passed away. So Tom Mann, being the crazy man that he was, all right, he was a wild man apparently. So he had some Injun in his blood. So, so he called all his buddies to Leroy Brown's funeral, and Tom Mann made a casket for Leroy Brown. Now you have a bunch of guys probably enjoying some ice cold adult beverages.
Yeah.
And they all went around the casket that Tom Mann made for Leroy Brown. You had Bill Dance, you had Jerry McInnes, Rayo Breckenridge was mentioned. I can't remember if Roland was mentioned or not. And they all dropped a jelly worm into the casket as they proceeded around, and then they went and buried old Leroy Brown.
Where's he buried at today?
In Eufaula somewhere.
There's probably like $1 million cash in that box or something.
Right.
That they're-
Tom stashed it.
Yeah, some packed, the last one living gets it or something.
The secret jelly worm that catches them every time.
Start the next tournament series off of this slush fund buried in Eufaula, Alabama. That's awesome. Did you speak to Nina yesterday?
Yes, and
Did you know what yesterday was?
No, shoot. Dang, did I screw up, didn't I?
It's her birthday.
Son of a gun.
Her birthday.
Wow, and I
wish I would have seen you before that.
Well, I kind of so Forrest kept talking, and then he's wanting to show Nina the pictures of him on the Stray Cast show, and they're fun. They're both smiling and laughing, and everything's great. And I'm kind of like, okay, Pat, don't overstay your welcome. Play this cool. Keep your composure and be like, oh, okay, Forrest, it's been great talking with you, man. I'll catch up and, call me anytime, Forrest. Call me anytime, all right? So now I'm out of there. I'm walking up, super happy. Hey, man, I was just hanging out with Forrest Wood, Next thing I know, Paul, big old bear paw on my back. I look up, it's a 6.5-foot policeman, and he says, "You, get out of here." I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm getting escorted out of there by a policeman.
Yeah.
Just met Forrest Wood.
Just met. You can't.
Got his phone
That
number.
was me talking to Forrest, and you're kicking me out now. Okay. So, anyway, I gotta go back a little bit. I forgot my media badge in the hotel room yesterday.
Yeah.
So, before that happened, I was with another FLW employee, and I had gone in and out, and he let her know that you let him through. But she didn't like that because he kind of oversaw her authority, right? So she's the one that told the policeman. And anyway, here we go. Back to this cop. He's got his hand on my shoulder, ready to escort me out. And I turn around, and it's Bill Taylor. And I said, "Bill, he's trying to kick me out of here." And Bill said, "Oh, no, he isn't." And I stayed in the arena.
Nice.
That was my
it.
surreal experience.
You would be surprised at how valuable these rubber bracelets are to get you where you need to go.
Well, Bill gave me 2 of those. He said,
Okay.
"Here, take 2 of these."
Yeah.
So
Where is it? You're not wearing it
I
today.
forgot those in the
You know
hotel
what?
room.
When JP and I walked in with our badges on, Bill Taylor said, "Where's y'all's wristbands?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he didn't believe. He thought we had fake.
Well,
badges.
you can buy them. You could buy those at the entrance from bootleggers.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
got
Fat Cat
book-
actually.
oh.
Just
Fat
like
Cat
your-
makes them.
Yeah.
But give me a wristband.
Yeah. Just like
I
your
got
Earth,
2.
Wind, and Fire tickets that you bought that were bootleg, dummy. You know what I'm saying?
What you
always make
want
that
to get
mistake.
is the black wristband.
That gets
Oh,
you
that's the good
everywhere.
one.
Like blue's good, but,
Yeah.
but black gets you
like the
in
black
the
credit
check
card.
line.
And it gets you like hors d'oeuvres, sushi, and those cold shrimps and all that stuff.
The sushi in Arkansas is phenomenal. It is the best sushi I've ever had.
Is
in
it
my
really?
life.
Is it very chewy?
Yeah, there's an old world Japanese contingent here with the hot springs, association.
Purifies it.
I didn't realize. I knew that this was a gangster town at one time. Of course, you're here, so now it's really gangster. But the whole Capone story that I've learned this trip.
what is that?
We were here 3 weeks ago for last year's Cup.
Yes,
So I didn't hear any of that last year because there was a crowd, but this time I've had a little more time to learn a little bit about the town and whatnot, second trip and all that stuff. Why are all these hotels here? And dinner at the was it the Ohio Club? Did you eat there? It's Capone's old joint. Like it's his old.
Really?
Yeah, where they gambled upstairs, and this is a whole. So I'm teaching you something.
Yeah, I like it.
Donna's
There's pictures
birthday?
of Capone all over the
Yeah.
hotel we're staying in. So I was wondering what the hell that was.
He owns the French Quarter still.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
But-
So,
But no, and we have a place just by us. What is it, Crown Point?
what is the French Quarter?
It's just a place that just bad things happen there.
What kind of bad? Like good bad things or
well, it depends
bad
on
things?
it depends on the definition of good bad things.
I went by a joint that said French Quarter, and it had a silhouette of a lady, and it had a handwritten BYOB sign underneath of it, and I saw Watson laying in front of it on the sidewalk. I said, I'm not going. That was like 9:30 yesterday
That
morning.
was not him.
That's
that
weird.
was the guy that he brings with him to do work for him that looks like
The
him.
impersonator.
Yes, because
Yes.
James is fishing at home right now.
It's funny you
James
say that,
Watson
though.
isn't even here.
Oh, I
'Cause
get
I
it.
did walk right past that place the other night. Went right past it, and there was a guy sleeping on a Vespa in front of it.
It looked like
On
Watson.
a Vespa.
On a Vespa.
Vespas
Yeah.
are cool. I saw a guy on a mini bike at I don't know, it was 10 o'clock at night. It was dark. It was after dinner. You know, we do the show thing for those at home that have never participated in these. You do the show deal till 4:30.
Yeah.
4:30. Then you go to the weigh-in.
Out of
Obviously,
there by midnight.
FLW does a good job of getting the weigh-in done in just shy of 4.5 hours. So you go to the restaurant, and all 4 restaurants are booked solid from 10:30 to midnight. You get home at 1 o'clock in the morning, without even trying.
Yeah. You're waiting for 2 hours just to eat at
Yeah,
10:30.
But
It's
it is
like
fun.
a real bass tournament. You rig up and then you're ready for bed.
I
by
like
2.
it how this is, how it's all set in one location. And
It is nice.
We don't even have to move.
Air
Hey,
conditioning.
you mentioned your buddy Fat Cat earlier, and I know that Fat Cat and Brian the Carpenter from the Ike Live Show, they're actually out fishing right now. And Brian's little TH Marine boat build.
Brian, if you're listening, a brand new Cashion rod delivered to your door for the simple fee of pushing Fat Cat in on film.
Please.
If Fat Cat goes swimming on video, you get a new Cashion rod.
Brand new, Brian.
Sent to your house.
Whatever you want. Paul's going to even give you the ones they haven't even released yet, the super special ones he's talking about. You're going to be the field tester now, Brian.
Yeah.
You can do this. But
Yeah.
but Fat Cat did tell me to ask you, when I was talking to those guys before we got here, he told me to ask you about your fondness for armadillos.
You'd have to do some digging on Facebook for that. But this is about, like, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks after I was divorced. I had a new rental property, and I like to take care of my stuff, even though sometimes it doesn't look like it. You know, put mileage on the truck, it gets dirty. But I had all these holes. Armadillos dig about a 3-inch hole and about an inch deep in your yard, and I just couldn't figure out what all this was in the yard. Well, finally talked to enough old men that said, it's an armadillo, guarantee it. Well, sucker comes out at high noon one day, and my buddy Sean Mulhall's over at the house, and I see it coming across the road. Well, there was a laundry basket and a big Bowie knife. Finally, we got a shovel. I lived in downtown Harley, Georgia.
Laundry basket and a big Bowie knife. Okay, that's a recipe for disaster. Keep going.
It didn't work.
Okay.
It didn't work too well with the laundry basket and the Bowie knife. So we got, and those things have leprosy. You know that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, they carry leprosy.
Like and they give them to humans?
Really? The biblical, well, I mean, I'm sure in Arkansas they eat them. You know,
it depends on how you got to cook the leprosy out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like that puffer fish. You got to cut out the leprosy button or something.
Or rhubarb. You don't eat the certain part of rhubarb.
There may or may not be a video on the Facebooks, interwebs of an armadillo's demise with a shovel somewhere. It's a long time ago, foggy.
It was a definite safari, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. But now that they're telling stories, I'm going to have to reschedule another time to where I can gather my notes. I've got plenty of stories on Fat Cat and Brian the Carpenter.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Hours of good stuff.
This file right here is Paul Benson, Fat Cat Newton, and Brian the Carpenter. Yeah. Just this notebook right here. That's what I got.
Blackmail the whole industry right there. So they did the Ike Live Foundation deal. I hope they raised a ton of money.
They said it went really well.
A lot of good people.
They said it went
there.
really good. Yeah, and it was a great time.
You know, are you fraternal twins, identical twins with Pete Gluzik? How does that work?
Actually,
are y'all separated at birth?
Well, I was raised by wolves. Yes, we were separated at birth, and Pete got the puffy gene.
You guys went to different schools together, didn't you?
We went to different schools at the same time. You're exactly right. Yeah. You're exactly right, Ryan. Yeah, but Pete got the puffy gene. You know, I guess our biological father had that, but I don't know. But yeah, we are. You notice the resemblance right away, right?
Yeah.
See that?
Works.
I'm little Petey. Hey, man, let me tell you something, Paul. When I think about Paul Benson, I think of a processor. I see you look around, and I think you're a thinker.
Process server?
No, it basically, yeah. Basically, you take in what you see, and you process it, and then you let it go. There's a lot of people that are just, exactly like that. That's Paul's brain. But there's a lot of people like me that just say immediately, blah, 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 blah. But you're a processor. Is that an accurate assumption?
I would,
or statement?
I would gladly take that assumption, but that would also incriminate a lot of the things that I say that I said without thinking. when really I did think before I said them. I just didn't think, well about it.
Well, I'm marking this off right here because that was trying to trap you. Actually, you can't see this, but I hope someone in the camera sees that. That's James Watson's bait idea that he's going to try and sell to Berkeley.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
No, I think that's actually Scott Suggs' bait idea.
that he
James
sold
Watson
it for.
drew for him.
Yeah.
That Watson stole from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I think that you are very observant of the bass fishing world.
Try
Let's
to
just
be.
put it that way.
Try to
You're
be.
maybe more observant than 90% of the bass fishing galaxy.
You gotta be hip to be square,
That's
right?
Just like Huey says. Man.
Yes, sir.
But I want to ask you, man, and I ask a lot of people this question, and if you could, and usually I ask them if they were a wizard, what they would do to pretend they're a wizard and change something in bass fishing. What would you change, Paul? What would you change about this sport right now to better it, to make it better for everyone?
That's a very good question. I wish you would have prompted me with it.
No, I'd
2
never
days
prompt
ago.
anyone.
No,
No.
I know. Like now, my answer is like I'm on pins and needles, wondering what I'm gonna say.
But you just bought yourself time, so that
So-
was like a nice tactic.
I think that it's an easy question to answer because everyone in the bass industry, from what I see, it's a very tight knit industry. I was talking to Al Chapman about this morning. Even though you compete with other people, I compete with other rod lines, whatever. I think everyone in the bass industry does exactly what you ask me every day when they get up. How can I make the bass industry better? How can I better everything? That's one of my goals. I had a young chat with Stephen Tyson Davis, a young angler, 25-year-old angler here in Arkansas today. If I can impart knowledge or whatever that is given to me by some of the elite guys, tour guys, MLF guys, whoever, I try to pass that along to the younger anglers. If I could change anything, and I'll probably get myself in trouble, but for some reason, we cannot defeat the idea of entitlement on several different fronts. There is an entitlement that exists. People can call me crazy. They can say I'm wrong. I may get myself in trouble for saying it, but
No.
Behind closed doors, I have enough people that bring up the same issue. That there's just an entitlement, like, what can you do for me? What can you that exists? I don't know when that started. Probably.
What can I get for free?
More recently than not. But I would love to get some of that old school hard knocks. I'd love Jimmy Houston to grab one of these young YouTubers and just knock his teeth out and say, hey, I've worked for Pennzoil Shell Rotella for 30 years. I see anglers try it. When was the last time G-Man switched boat companies? Never.
Yeah.
I mean, he's with Triton. He's with, so I think that there is no love lost for that idea of entitlement that exists, or somebody owes me more, or somebody, I didn't get what I deserved, or things of that nature. And that's something that everybody has to battle. And it's top to bottom. I mean, there's no one who's not guilty of that. There's times when I say, well, man, why did that dealer put in that rod line? He should have my rod line,
sure.
or whatever. So I mean, we're all guilty of it,
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I would like to see overcome and overachieved. I would love to see. I was talking to Al Chapman about it this morning, and I'm sure that there's conversations that happen. I would love to see a significantly larger influx of cohesion between the tours to work together to make it a better place for everywhere. Now, we've had some recent improvements. Last year the Elite Series went through volumes of change, and it's I have not seen anything but a positive reaction out of elite anglers, bass itself,
Those guys are
folks
having
like
a
that.
Very honeymoony over there.
Yeah. FLW Tour is stepping up. I've heard some plans for 2020 and 2021 that are
Big
strong.
stuff. Big stuff, buddy.
So I'm glad to see a positive industry. I wish that we could find better and more ways for anglers, manufacturers, tours, media personnel, everybody to work together to make it a better world and a better place. I want world peace. I want, ISIS defeated.
Can't we all just get along?
Change. I think he needs music. Now he needs playoff music. Give him Oscars playoff music, please.
He was worried about that question. You totally nailed that question.
Yeah, I mean, come on. He bought the time, though. He's a professional. You see how he did that? That's how he did it, and boom, snuck right into it, right there. That was good. But dude, the entitlement, and then right back to it. You brought it right back to, hey, let's just remember, it's a fish, man.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
green fish.
Yeah, how many
we all
guys
like
wake
catching
up? I mean, there are literally thousands of Americans who wake up every day hoping to not. I've seen some of them through Hot Springs. Man, I hope there's a live PD in Hot Springs because this place is hot.
it'd be
at
amazing.
I love that
10:30.
show.
Just
That
go
would-
down to the plasma bank. There.
That would be the greatest live PD ever, Hot Springs edition, I promise
Oh,
you.
gosh, yes.
But you've got law enforcement, you've got military, you've got firemen, you've got kids overseas dying, being shot at. We wake up every day and we base our day-to-day business on who's catching fish.
Right.
Who's buying what lure? Who's buying what rod? Who's buying what, apparel? Who's talking about what? Like, we should be thankful. We are a faith-based company. I tend to be the saltier, version of that, but I don't pull any punches. I mean, I'm saved and I believe in my faith, and I thank God every day for my opportunity to work in this industry, and I think everyone else should too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and like you said earlier too, you think everybody in this industry wants to know what they can do to better the fishing industry, and it's because we're all fishermen.
Yeah.
There's very rare to find anyone working in the fishing industry that doesn't love bass fishing.
Yeah,
or
I
love
love it.
fishing.
I just don't get to
some
do
sort.
it, but I do
Yeah.
love it. So,
Exactly.
But we care about it personally. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Stop
I
the
mean,
entitlement.
yeah.
Work for it,
Yeah.
right? Stop it and just work.
Just like every bass you catch. You got to
Yeah.
work for it.
Got to work for it.
On a lighter note, Charles says if you throw in 2 rods, he'll call Brian right now and get that done.
Oh,
Brian
Daughtry.
says,
Oh, Charles Daughtry says if you throw in 2 rods, so in other words, one for Charles and one for Brian,
Yeah.
that he's going to go over there wherever they are and make that happen.
I'll throw in 2 to Charles if both of them go swimming.
Up the ante.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing in a stray cast sticker for you, Charles.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a stray cast sticker if you do it. How do you like that?
Rich is the one who can do it.
It's
Have you ever
vinyl.
boxed Rich?
Yeah, Rich is a brick house.
Yeah.
Old Rizzy B.
That dude, he walks up. He looks like cool, calm, collected. I dare say pretty boy for taking a beating the next time I see him, but he looks polished.
He does. He uses a lot of hair gel.
He looks polished.
Yeah, and he had those gold chains.
and he will knock you out cold.
Before you know it.
Yep.
When you
Yep.
don't know it hit you.
He's a hammer.
You ever see that guy's hook set, Riz B's?
He uses Cashion Rods. He loves them.
I saw that. Yeah.
Guy's an animal.
He actually pulled up a 17-foot laydown on a flip hook set with the Cashion flip stick, I think.
I believe it. Antique. He then took it to the sawmill with Shelby Stenga and sold it for $14,000 a foot.
He did well. He did well for himself. So, in other words, Charles, get out there. The ante's up. Go knock those kids over. Let's
On
have some
video.
fun. On video. Yeah, it's got to be documented. There's no doubt about it. Hey, Paul, anything you want to say before we get out of here,
No,
man?
I just appreciate what you do day in and day out. Y'all do a wonderful job. I want to make sure that I reinforce, young anglers out there. And I did take a shot at YouTubers, but they're YouTubers.
Yeah.
But keep doing what you're doing. Everybody in the industry, keep doing what you're doing. Keep everything positive. Let's be happy. And I'm looking forward to. Let's see, we got the Red Crest Classic in 2 weeks for those guys.
Yeah.
You got an awesome classic coming up in Birmingham. They haven't announced where the Cup's going to be next year. I'm hoping to hear some good things about maybe my backyard.
That would be nice, huh?
But it's a great schedule. I just think 2020 is going to be a phenomenal year, and I hope all of us can lean on each other and continue to make it a positive, solid industry that we, help and support each other, help and support these kids, and be better today than we were yesterday.
Absolutely. Well said. Give it up. Paul Benson, right there. First time ever on the show.
I love it.
Pretty
Thank
cool.
you for being here.
You got to Skype in. I want to have him. We're just going to do a Skype fest.
Yeah.
All right?
Shirtless? Can we, I get a little
Get
bit.
away with anything.
Hey, it's
at
the web,
house.
man.
Yeah.
I've got a Speedo.
That would be amazing.
Pat rarely wears pants on any of our
Well,
broadcasts.
at my studio, I only
Yeah.
put clothes. Yeah, I do. No, I put my
Well,
pants
here.
on for the show.
Yeah.
But I don't. I walk around in my underwear until
Yeah.
the show starts.
I'm
True.
coming to the studio.
it's
I just made a
it's my
decision.
house. Why can't I walk around in my underwear?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Palatial
company.
mansion.
Thank you very
On
much.
the
We've
hill.
actually had a guest go shirtless, but it was James Watson.
It was James Watson.
Yeah.
He's like the first to ever.
Yeah, it was him and his owl in
his
the hot
pool.
tub. Yeah, him
Yeah,
and his owl were
Cornelius.
in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Owl Cornelius. Hey, that's Ryan Popcorn Whitaker over there on the right. JP High and Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja. I want to remind everybody, go to BravarneyBaits.com. Dan Bravarney has a, you know Dan, right?
Oh,
You love Dan.
I love Dan.
Yeah.
Dan is the man.
You know
is,
what
right?
Dan's doing for the FLW Cup here. So if you buy any order you get a free jig. So buy something and you get a free jig. Now, if you buy 12 swim jigs, you get 3 free.
Wow.
BravarneyBaits.com. Put in code FWC19 in the notes section of checkout. Buy a jig, get something free.
Bravarney Jigs is the #1 top secret jig of elite tour and MLF anglers. Like, it is the #1
Yes, sir.
used jig that nobody says they use.
Exactly.
Like, it's in the bottom of everybody's boat.
They're everywhere.
Dan
I saw
Bravarney.
them out there.
That mustache.
You know why? Because the
love
Bravarney
it.
swim jigs don't do this.
They do,
this. Yeah.
They do not roll.
Yes.
About a-
Thank
And you
you.
got
I'm
about
glad
300
I forgot that you
colors
knew
to choose
Dan.
oh, he's an animal.
He is,
Yeah.
That's a very good way to
Yeah.
put it. And he's
Yeah.
a huge Chicago White Sox fan.
No, he's a big
Bear-
Cub fan.
No, it's
actually.
White Sox fan.
A
He
Bears
loves the
fan?
Cubs.
White Sox.
Bears fan.
Bears fans.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, a strange thing about Dan Bravarney. My previous employment was in electrical sales, so I sold like lighting, electrical lighting, conduit, all that stuff for construction.
Okay.
Dan Bravarney's previous deal was he owned a huge lighting control company for schools.
I did not know that.
And I worked with Dan like on spec packages and things with that company for years and never had any idea who he was, because
Right.
there was an intermediary, but there were times that Dan and I had to have had discussions, and neither one of us knew it until we had breakfast at the Schaumburg show one day.
Talk
So
about a small world.
you
and
need
everybody
to have,
knows
You need
everybody.
to have Dan on here.
Oh, Dan been
we've
on
had
there.
him.
Shirtless.
Look at him. Yeah.
He would do that.
He's a lumberjack.
He is
definitely
a
would.
He is a
lumberjack, that's no
dude is a man child.
Hey, put the
So-
power poles down. Don't go anywhere. There's more FLW Cup action, straight cast style, when we get back. See you in a minute. All right. Oh, here he is. Come on in, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. We were waiting on you. We're only doing a live talk show. I'm glad you could show up. Yeah, I'm glad you could show up for this. Welcome to the show, Ryan Whitaker. Welcome back to the FLW Cup 2019 straight cast style Mission Gypsy Band of Edition here, whatever the heck this is. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. That's Ryan Popcorn Whitaker that just walked in. Andrew Ellenberger is the Ginger Ninja. He's producing the hell out of this deal. And then over here is JP High. He's a nice guy. Yeah, plain and simply, just a nice guy.
Look at him.
And right now we're bringing you for the first time, a lot of first-time evers at this FLW Cup event. This is the strong arm of the Ranger Boat Company. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Scotty Arms.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's how we do it. What up, Scott?
How are you guys?
Good, man. Dude, first time on the show, and I want to tell you I'm a big fan of Scott Arms. You're kind of IG famous in my eyes.
Well, in my eyes too, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that, guys. I don't have quite the following you guys do, but hey, you know what? You guys are in a great business, do a great job, and have a great entertainment. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, dude, no
Thank
problem. And I'll tell you what, like I send you little messages on your story because you always make me hungry. Like every time I look at your, I'm like, oh my God, look at these potatoes. This is amazing. Are you kidding me? This side of beef right here, he's making that. I'm like, come on, dude.
Hey, man, that's everybody's got their passion. You
Yeah.
guys love fishing. You love the outdoors. I love it too. I work it every day, but sometimes you just got to get off to the side and say, hey, let's do something different. And so about 3 years ago, my wife and I moved and we bought our first Traeger, and it's all downhill from there, buddy. I mean, it's all downhill.
So you
love it.
You've made it like it's like your little happy place, isn't it?
It is. It is. I've enjoyed, if you look at me by size, you can tell. My theory is don't ever trust a thin cook. So
Well,
first thing-
that is very good theory.
That is the
I
first thing.
think that's
Yes.
amazing right there.
But
Scott.
it is. I mean, I love it. That is what I love to do. I could do it every day, and I do it a lot of times. And a lot of just like fishing, just like this industry that we're in. It's kind of the same thing. The guys have that passion and get dialed in, and you got to experiment and try new things. And I try to do that. And everybody's like, hey, you need to start a new Instagram. It's got to be something barbecue or
Dude, it's
cooking
good.
or something.
It's really good. So you know how as a talk show host, I do research on guests.
I would say talk show star.
Get
what
out
I
of
would
here!
say.
Get out of here!
Huh?
Cut it out!
Popcorn,
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this guy, I just ride the coattails.
Cut it out, all of you guys. But seriously, I do, believe it or not, I actually do prep for some shows.
Yes,
Okay,
that's good.
And I know as bass fishermen, if they're getting ready for a derb, they're gonna prep for the event, right? So
Exactly.
how do you learn about this grilling deal? Like, what do you research? The web and look? Are you a Pinterest guy, Scott?
You know what? Funny you say that is I wasn't until recently, but I am now.
Okay.
Because there are some great ideas out there. I'll tell you, there's a lot of great cooking apps out there. I'm a Traeger guy. Everybody's like, dude, are you sponsored by Traeger? Every time you turn around, you're tagging Traeger. No, I'm not. But
you gave him a boat. Who you?
Yeah, I wish I'd have gave him a boat. Maybe they'd give me, a couple more grills. But, my thing is, I'm a trial and error guy. My wife absolutely hates the way I cook because a lot of times it's just pour this and you go by taste. And things like you don't measure it. Like when we do pork belly burn ends, there's no measuring like how you do the sauce and things. I just dump it in and then you can taste. I mean, to me it tastes good, and I'm just lucky that everybody else likes it too.
Yeah.
I mean, because not everybody likes the way certain people cook, but yeah, I do a lot of prep. I do have a grill that I take to events with me.
Okay.
I've cooked on the Luke Duncan's Traveling Circus a couple times, and we've done some stuff.
I've seen it.
There, and I like it. As a matter of fact, I just got back from Canada. I know that's going to sound weird, but everybody's like, you took your grill to Canada? So I had a walleye event in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, which is right on the Canadian border.
Oh, yeah.
Then went and saw the Canadian duo of the Johnston brothers.
Uh-huh.
And stayed there and cooked up there for them, and it's just great. I just enjoy it. It's a great way to relax, kind of unwind, especially when you're at tournaments. And you know what? You know how it is. You're on the road, you're traveling, and man, I don't want to go out and eat. Let's go in here, and you meet a lot of great people in these small butcher shops, mom and pop places.
I'll bet.
And
It's a whole
awesome.
adventure for you.
You know what? Maybe we do a stray cast where we cook.
Yeah.
I'm totally. I love to eat.
How's now?
You know what? I've been asked that more this week. Is like, dude, where's the grill?
Yeah.
Like you say,
Yeah.
you take it with you. Where you at? And I'm like, they wouldn't let me set it up in the booth.
I think we could
You
get
know?
a Lenda grill outside.
We could dial it up, man. I just love it.
And here, I got a good idea for you. You know how on Low Budget Live, there's that friendly little rivalry between DC and Dunk?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe like we could grill nasty shit and have Darian eat it.
Oh,
you know,
I
like
like it.
nasty stuff, like
Oh.
random. But it's really not going to hurt him. But it
No.
looks horrible, and you have to make him eat it.
I like it. I like that idea.
I think
Can't
that's
tell 'em what it is.
that's a good
that is
segment.
a great idea.
Yeah,
That'd be a great idea.
I am an idea man.
You're a star. Like we just said, a star.
No, I am not, but I do feed the mayonnaise to the tuna fish, so it saves time making sandwiches. We've been over this before on this show. I'm the guy. I'm the one that did that.
I agree. We'll give you all due credit on that. Also.
I gave Darian an idea yesterday, too. I'm a very giving person.
You know what? That's how you learn. People give you ideas. You got to take the ball and run. Now you've given me the ball. I've just got to pick it up and run with it.
Go get it.
Right.
Go get
That's
it.
right.
But seriously, more cooking stuff on Instagram. I love it. I really
Yep.
do. I look forward to seeing your stories every day, man.
Man, I appreciate it, and it's like I said, it's fun. It's a good time, and I've made some friends on Instagram, some cooking people. That's where you get a lot of stuff. I mean, you can ask people. It's like fishing. It's like, there's some guys that I follow on there. 666 Grill and McNutt Barbecue, and some of those guys, they're family guys, and they have a lot of stuff on their Instagram about their family. But man, I can direct message those guys, and within an hour they're replying back.
That's
to me.
awesome, right?
It's like, hey, what do you do for a living? Well, I work in the fishing industry. They think that's cool. Then you go into all these people. You just get information. It's like, hey man, like I want to try a pork butt a different way. Like instead of just putting it on the grill, cooking it, wrapping it. Like McNutt Barbecue, he'd done it in a tinfoil pan. I'm like, hey man, how do you do that? And he said, it's real freaking hard. He said, you season it up the way you want. You put it in there. You pull it at 208. Don't ever touch it.
That's
I'm
it.
like, you got to be kidding me.
That's it.
And I did it, and I'm like, oh, that is so good because you don't have to mess with it.
And so, for those of you, I should have mentioned this, that want to see what Scott's up to, is it S Arms?
S Arms 55, the number 55.
S Arms 55 on IG.
Yep.
Yeah, check that out. He's going to make you hungry. I
We
promise
spoke
you.
Thursday, and I told you he's the single-handed reason I bought my Traeger. Just from watching Scott.
We
Hear that, Krager?
Yeah.
you know, here's the other thing. So went to Canada and cooked, and the travel Traeger is what I have. They call it the tailgater. I take it to a lot of events where I drive and just put it in the back of my pickup truck, drive to events. Went to Canada, sold 5. Like they had a big party, I cooked on it, and there's like 30 people. 5 of them went and bought them. It's crazy. And they're like, you're not sponsored by it. I'm like, no, but it's a great product.
Right.
You know, it's a great product. And you know what? If you look at the Traeger history, they're done social media. They're one of the few companies that doesn't have a giant marketing budget that is going out and you're seeing ads everywhere. They give product, people, the following on social media. And, you know, a buddy of mine that I work with sent me the story. You know, it got bought out by these other people, and this is the way that went. And if you just went to Traeger and looked, there's a lot of stuff that they've shared. I mean, I'm not sponsored by it, but they share on their story and stuff. Some of my stuff that I've shared that
That's
they
awesome.
shared. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool because then you're getting people you don't even know, you know, they're liking. And you know, I don't have a huge following, but I'd say 90% of them are probably people that is a barbecue or somebody that cook. It's not fishermen, you know.
Well, that barbecue is the international language of commonality between fishermen. You know that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think it's food in general.
Oh,
you know.
absolutely.
You know, I've done some, you know, we went to the Luke Duncan's Travel and Circus. We went to Venice and, you know, caught some redfish and we didn't have the Traeger there. We had a grill down there, but, you know, did some redfish on the half shell and did some, you know, potatoes in a cast iron skillet. And those guys are just like, all right, next time we have to video all this. You have to bring the Traeger. We're going to have to do this. And so this fall, we're headed back to Venice.
So what, like, do you got a name? Like, we got to come up with something for this whole
I'll tell you,
thing.
we have a Luke and Darian came up with Diesel, so I've got several nicknames, you know, over the years, and one of them is Diesel. Everybody just called me Diesel.
Okay.
And so they come up with Diesel's Barbecue, and I've done some, you know, research, and there's not really a Diesel barbecue out there.
It sounds
And-
potent.
That's good.
It sounds
And
potent.
So yeah, it's like, you know, might have to do that. Might have to start a barbecue Instagram. And, you know, truth be known, if, you know, something happened, you know, that would probably where I'd go. You know, if something happened in my career and you know, I no longer wanted to be in the fishing industry, that's the road I think I'd go. I'm a food truck guy.
Grill Master General.
Yeah, I mean, you know, get a food truck and let's drive the world and just feed people, you know, and done a little research on that. Not a whole lot, but you know, you go out back here and they've got the Bassin barbecue going on, and you just like, I was like in heaven.
I was
out there looking at
overwhelmed.
some of this. Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
Pretty good up.
It's like, which Christmas present do you open first?
yeah, and
you know?
it's like, oh, go over here and get these brisket tacos. Go over there, and it's like, all I see is seafood stuff. And they're like, oh, okay, I see it on your board, brisket tacos. So I go in there and get the brisket tacos. They're pretty phenomenal.
Were they good?
Yes, I would have to say they were very, very good.
At the crawfish place?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so go out there. They're
might try that today.
They're called street tacos. They're
Like it.
$3, but they're, you know, little.
And they're not
kinda small.
cat. It's not cat.
No, it by far no.
Okay,
You can
good.
tell it is not
Good. When you said street taco, I thought a cat.
And well,
Brisket. Not too
it
bad.
can be, but street taco is just a smaller tortilla shell.
Okay.
Shell is what it is.
Hey, Scott, we got Travis watching on Facebook. He wants to know, have you ever cooked tri-tip? And do you have a marinade you could recommend?
Guys, I'm going to tell you, yes, tri-tip is one. If you'll go to S-Arms 55, you'll see several on there through the years. As a matter of fact, when I went to Canada, I did 5. My thing is I'm a reverse sear guy. So what that means is I go low and slow early on. So set your grill. If you're not a Traeger guy, if you know, you're gas grill, charcoal guy, whatever. I've got a big green egg too. So got 2 Traegers, a big green egg. So I've got lots of options there. But you go low and slow. You know, set her about 200 degrees. And then what you want to do is you want to get your internal temperature on your tri-tip to about 10 degrees of what you want. So if you're wanting like a medium's like 130 to 135. What you want to do is you want to pull that tri-tip when it gets to about 120, okay? You're going to pull it off. You're going to crank that Traeger up as high as it'll go, or your gas grill, and you want to get it as hot as you can. And then what you're going to do is you're going to throw it on there about a minute and a half each side and sear the outside of it, get a nice crust. Then you're going to pull it off. You're going to wrap it, and you're going to let that thing sit for about 20 minutes. You're not going to touch it.
Okay.
You're just going to let it sit, all right? And then when you get done, then you're going to slice that bad boy up, and there's just going to be juice running out of it everywhere. And it is unbelievable.
That was a great description.
But I will say this. He did ask about a marinade. I'm not a liquid marinade guy. I'm a spices guy only. There's a company here in Arkansas out of Harrison that I use primarily on all my beef, and it's called Cavender's. It comes in a yellow can. You can get it at Walmart. But it's made in Harrison, Arkansas, which is about 3 hours from where we're sitting. It's about 45 minutes from where I live, but it's a Greek seasoning. But it has garlic, and it has salt, and it has pepper, and it's unbelievable. It's the only thing that I'll season beef with. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a steak, doesn't matter if it's tri-tip, but beef, that's what I use. Another one, I'm not sponsored by them, but another company that I use almost exclusively is called Meat Church out of Texas.
Okay.
I
was in a band called Meat Church once.
Really?
Yeah, not really, no.
That would have been so cool, though. But they have several different seasonings on there. They've got the Holy Cow, they've got the Gospel, they've got
That's cool.
The favorite. This is my favorite one, D's Nuts.
D's
It's a pecan seasoning.
Wow, it makes sense.
And but yeah, it's called Meat Church. So if you guys go online, you can look at Meat Church. But they've got seasonings on there. The Gospel is probably my favorite, or the Holy Gospel. Holy Gospel's got a little bit of pepper in it from their Holy Cow. Their Holy Cow is a real peppery brisket kind of rub. But that's what I use. I do use some Traeger rubs. There are some Traeger rubs on there. But I'm not a marinade in, I'm not a Worcestershire sauce, marinade, salt and pepper, garlic, all that. I'm a dry rub guy.
I see that you're kind of shaking. Are you DTing from not being able to barbecue the
am.
last 3 days?
I want to grab some tongs. I want to open a lid. And so it is. And matter of fact, last night I've got a 12-year-old daughter, and she FaceTimed me. When are you coming home? And I said, I'll be home, late tomorrow night. And she goes, all right, first thing on the grill are smash burgers. I mean, it's like, I don't care anything. When are you going to get back, Dad?
I miss you, Dad. None of that.
We're doing smash burgers. But that's one of my new favorites I just got turned on to not too long ago. And it's a kind of a knockoff of Steak and Shake. They smash them down real thin.
And we have Shoops by us. It's a local Chicago deal.
It's kind of the same mentality. And I do everything on the Traeger. One thing that blew some people away is not too long ago, if you go back through my photos, is my son woke up one Saturday morning and said, Dad, biscuits and gravy, it's what I want.
Yes, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
And I did the whole meal. I did the sausage, I did the biscuits, I did the gravy, I did everything on the Traeger.
Because that's God's food, is biscuits and
gravy.
gravy.
Oh, by far. It is my wife's number one meal. Like, what do you want? If you ever ask her for her birthday, it's biscuits and gravy. You make biscuits and gravy, she's going to be happy. Well, he asked for it, and so I was like, okay. So I got up, and I thought, you know what? I've never done the gravy on the Traeger. I mean, it's plenty of heat. You can do it. And so I did it, and by far just the little bit of smoke flavor.
That's what I was going to ask. How did it change it?
It's just the smoke. Like, so when you did the sausage, it soaks up a little smoke. Everybody's like, oh, it's a smoker. It's going to be very smoky. Not really. It's not. I mean, honestly, there's just that hint there. But by far, probably the best biscuits and gravy I've ever made in my life was on that, just because it just changes the flavor just a little bit on it. And I think that's the advantage of having a Traeger or a Big Green Egg or something that you're working with a smoker type almost more than a gas grill or a charcoal grill. Now, guys are still, Mike McClellan gives me a hard time all the time about, oh, yeah, charcoal, my Weber this, my Weber that. Well, they had the Bass Pro Tour event up there, and I cooked up there for them, and I said, you can go ahead and throw your Weber away now, And of course,
McClellan.
Yeah, Jared Littner was up there and telling him the same thing. And so, that's the fun thing about me is you want, even though I'm getting zero, compensation for any of this, it's when you have a product you believe in. This show is a great show. Love it. Love following you guys.
Thank you.
I'll tell you this. I was surprised. I can't remember. I think it maybe was last year here. I can't remember when. I think it was last year here or maybe some other time, but you guys started following me on Instagram, and I was like, oh, my gosh. Trey Cast is following me.
Cut it out.
I swear. I promise. I'm not lying.
Out.
I'm not lying.
Okay.
I'm not lying. What did I tell you the other night? After the banquet. You not remember? I go, hey, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, I'm here all week. We're going to get you on. I promise. I promise. We're
He
going to get you on.
strong-armed me.
I did. I forced my way in here. He wasn't going to have me on.
I was too. You don't ask my producer right there. He'll tell you. You're on the list, buddy, whether you like it or not.
Hey, I like being on the list. Some lists are good to be on. Some lists are good to be on. I appreciate it. But, yeah, that is my passion. That's what I love to do. And
I used to know you as Scott the Ranger guy, but I know you as Scott the barbecue guy now.
Yeah, and it is.
working.
And it's I get guys all the time, hey, you didn't cook for me. I'm like, dude, I'm cooking. I told you I'm cooking at Cherokee or wherever. Well, dude, that's like 45 minutes away. I said, what'd you eat for dinner? Well, we had some fast food. I said, yeah, I bet that sucked. You could have come over here and had something that, was a lot better, off of the Traeger. So I've even joked with Kathy Fennell. I'm like, what do you charge me to bring a food truck in here and just sell? And she's like, well, I don't know. I've never even thought about it.
You know how amazing that would be?
Dude,
Can we bring our broadcast by your booth if we
You know
did
what?
that?
I think we just join
Broadcast
effort.
right out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We join effort it.
Oh, my gosh.
Put it together. You
Or
guys
at the
prepare
red
something for
carpet,
every
we
guest.
grill inside with the smoker grill.
I am liking it.
Yeah, it's like, and then all the pros emerge out of the
Instead of
Traeger
a fog,
grill.
instead of a
Yes.
fog machine, we're gonna have the.
I
Traeger
told you
smoker.
I'm a thinker.
God,
I
Pork
told
smoke.
you. You got to hang out with me more, Scott.
dude. We'll do smash burgers.
Yes.
Everybody gets a smash burger when
With
they come
biscuit
in.
and gravy on top of the smash burger.
I love it.
Ooh.
I love it.
Yeah, and then we'll make it surf and turf, and then you'll have a little country fried chicken on top of the burger, and then biscuit gravy.
Dude, I think we just do a big bowl. Those bowls are popular.
Yeah.
You just everything just piled on top of everything. Bacon, sausage, biscuit, gravy, maybe chicken fried steak on top of that.
Yeah, and the buffet table is like inside the rod boxes of the Rangers, so
Dude.
they have to ladle it out.
Dude, what you can do is we'll build an arm, open that rod box, and it just comes out like a buffet.
Yes.
Set it in there to protect it while you're driving, and then pop that bad boy up.
You're a
Get you
thinker.
little-
I like that about
I'm
you.
sure everybody asks you this, but do you ever mess with fish?
I
on the
do.
grill?
I do. I've done walleye, I've done crappie, I've done redfish. A lot of times it's all in tinfoil. You just tinfoil to keep it all in there. But it is. Probably my favorite is redfish, just because you cook it on the half shell, you season it, cook it on half shell, just throw it on there. We did.
What's that mean? Cook it on a half shell.
So what you do is
Ninja Turtle stuff. He's
yeah,
talking.
yeah, Ninja Turtle. We got the ninja right over there. So we didn't mean to offend you. Did not mean to offend you. Did not mean to offend you. No. So what it is you fillet it out like you normally would, but the skin stays on it.
I
So
gotcha.
The outside skin stays on it. So it's called on the half shell.
Gotcha.
So what you do is you don't ever have to turn it. There's several ways you can do it. You can just season it with a little butter. Some people put it in Italian dressing with seasoning. Crumble up potato chips just for that added crunch on top, and then all you do is you just cook it to temperature. Just throw
Okay.
it on the grill. You never flip it. You just close it. And
That sounds easy.
you know what?
I hate taking the skin off.
No, it's easy. You just fillet
like
it
the
out.
worst part of
Get the
filleting.
rib bones out of it. Boom.
Knock
skin
the sides
stays on,
off it, keep them bones out, and
Yeah.
boom, pop it in.
and then you're done.
One of the best fish I ever had on the grill was a snook.
Oh, really?
A snook when they're in season in
Yep.
Florida, and it actually had a what do you call that? Macadamia crust.
Oh, I bet that was good.
Dude,
Good stuff.
insane. Yeah.
Was it grilled?
It was on the grill,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, and it was like the crust got all brown somehow. I'm not a cook, so
Right.
I'm really good at throwing a tombstone in the oven. That's why I admire you
Hey,
so much.
I'll tell you this: pizza on the Traeger, stupid.
Yeah.
You can take the cheapest pizza from your store, the $1.29 ones, and throw them on there, and you'll be like, oh.
Why? What makes it different?
It's just the flavor. You get great flavor from grills anyway. But our Friday night, my daughter's a gymnast, so she has gymnastics till 6 o'clock every Friday.
Okay.
Actually, she's 3 days a week, but Friday is our pizza night. So we have a Papa Murphy's. I'm plugging all these places. I'm not even getting paid. You don't plug. You
You're
don't
a
plug
good
people.
man,
You're not
Scott
getting
Arms.
paid. But we go every Friday's Papa Murphy's.
Okay.
So it's take and bake and you
Take
just-
and bake.
That's it.
I like
you
it.
know what they are? Papa Murphy's?
I don't, but I've heard that take and bake where you
They're-
can go
they're
buy the
chained.
raw pizza.
Yeah, they're changed. You go in and order a pizza, you take it home and cook it.
Wow.
Well, we take it and we throw it on the grill. You just throw it on the Traeger or throw it on the egg and cook it. Throw it up there like 450 degrees, cook it for about 8 or 9 minutes, come in, and you're ready to go. But just the flavor that you get from the grill, the little bit of smoky flavor, but then just all the seasoning and stuff that you cooked on it before comes and cooks into that crust, and it's awesome. So you'd ask me, we were talking about the fish before that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to give you a $1 million idea.
Uh-oh.
real
Man,
quick.
I got to get started
Yeah.
writing these
Put
down.
them in your iPhone
look.
notes.
Around, I'm sure you've heard of the Asian carp
Yep.
infestation.
Yep.
It's real big around the Illinois River, around us.
Kentucky Lake.
Kentucky Lake.
Who's saying
all over
Hasselhoff?
the place. You find a way to prepare an Asian carp that people like.
Dude, that would be good.
Sell a
You could
recipe.
solve the problem on
If you
Kentucky
can
Lake
figure out a
single-handedly.
rub,
And it's bad.
Oh, I know.
Because that's the problem. They can't sell them.
No,
Very much.
and you know, with
if you can cook that thing.
the tournaments, you know, they usually donate to animal food companies. That's what
Right.
they do. They ground it up for animal
Yeah.
food. But you're right.
You can make
I've
more
never
selling
had
it to humans. Oh.
Asian carp.
I
so-
haven't either.
You got to put soy sauce on it. It's really
I
good.
ate a
Oh.
grass
Yeah.
carp one
Dude,
time.
my
It actually
cat
wasn't
better
bad.
not be eating
Really?
Asian
Yeah, I
carp.
caught like a 70-pound grass carp. And my
see, that's
friend's mom was from Japan, and she was like, I'm cooking that.
Really.
She cooked it. We ate it. It was actually pretty decent. Yeah.
And you think, you know, it's like the bigger the fish, usually the worse they taste.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
like
a
catfish.
big
Biggest fish I ever
catfish.
caught.
Yeah.
You want little
I ate it.
catfish, you know? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It could be.
I like it, though.
It
I
could
like
be.
it.
Get a couple Asian carp. All you got to do is take a boat ride.
No, yeah. Yeah, how about that shocking
Put a
video
helmet on.
Yeah.
where Kentucky, like, they shocked all those.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, by the dam.
crazy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Hey, Scott, I really don't honestly know your complete history with Ranger boats. I've just always known you as the man from Ranger, but tell me a little bit about the background with that.
Okay.
man.
December will be 24 years. I've been
Holy
with the company.
cow.
So, been there 24 years. I started.
You got your own office, huh?
I do have an. I even got a nameplate on my desk.
Wow.
I got that donated to me.
You're
Guy
kind
was,
of a big deal, aren't
guy
you?
was trying to
Laminated
get our
and whatnot.
business.
Yeah.
Our guy was trying to get our business, so he brings me a desk plate. Yeah, I was like, hey, that's all I needed. Thanks. Appreciate your time. But no, I started there. I started by washing. So Ranger has its own fleet of delivery vehicles, and I
Yes.
started by washing trucks, what they call in the truck shops, where we serviced them. So I started there part time, and then went to full time, and I worked in the finishing room, which is so boats get put together, gets carpet, and you put it in the finishing room. It's where you put the lids on. It's where you put the throttle controls. Everything kind of comes together, and it's actually becoming a boat. You get the engine, the trolling motor. Worked in there, did several things from, you know, rear wiring, doing the plumbing in the boat, to the gas tanks,
Sure.
the front wiring, rigging engines.
You've been around a bass boat.
I can work on one a little bit, and then went on what we call the service crew. We have guys that go to events and take a trailer with parts and work on boats so that guys can go fishing. And then actually decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna go to my boss. I think I can, you know, help this company a little bit more in my mind, you know. And so then went to work for our vice president of marketing, and got working in the marketing and promotion side of things, and kind of just worked my way up the ladder. It's a great company, gives you the opportunity to work your way up. You know, it's been great. You know, like I said, 24 years, and now, you know, I work with a lot of tournament organizations, our pro staff, take care of the Ranger Cup program, and just, you know, out here trying to make everyone happy.
And you sure are. And what a staple of the bass fishing community, for lack of a better term, that Ranger Boats is. I mean, iconic in the bass fishing industry. I was telling, we had Forrest Wood on 2 days ago.
Yep.
And I was telling Forrest, when, you know, there was a point in my life I had professional athlete posters in my room everywhere.
Right.
You know, they're everywhere. But then it got replaced with professional bass fishermen. And I said, Forrest, I remember that picture of you in that 1976 Bassmaster Classic boat. It was amber and gold, and you're sitting there in that magazine. And I looked at that thing every day, man. And he's like, yeah, I'm with FLW now.
Yeah.
That was his answer.
Yeah, there's been some changes in the industry, and that was a good way to put it, you know. And hey, man,
I was just telling him how awesome the poster was.
right? And you know, that's the thing, is everything changes in the industry. You know, there's always, seems like, people, you know, moving, and it doesn't matter if it's anglers, it doesn't matter if it's sponsors. You know, there's different changes, and you know, Forrest is a great spokesperson for bass fishing, and, you know, we appreciate what he's done in the past.
Absolutely.
And you know, we're plugging away there at Ranger, and we're building them one at a time, and we're going to continue to try to be the best in the business.
And what I was noticing, I was actually sitting with Forrest yesterday too at the Cup, and then I made an observation, and he made me feel dumb again, actually, and he said, yeah, they've been that way for a while, is his answer. And I'll tell you the question. Look how big the keel is now. That's like got to be like 4 foot on the top of those Rangers. He's like, yeah, they've been that way for a while.
Where you been? Pat?
He made me feel. So I want to see how he's going to make me feel dumb today. I don't know.
Hey, don't feel dumb. You know, it's. I'm a guy that's, you know, the only dumb question is the one that's not asked. I mean, how do you learn? I mean, how do we learn? You know, how am I gonna be a YouTube star one day? This could be my breakthrough moment.
It is.
Straycast.
I hope you know that it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I promise.
Yes.
You know, with 2 superstars.
Yeah.
4. I mean, there's 2 offset.
Yeah, you can't even see those guys. They're such big stars.
We have to hide them.
We have to.
They wouldn't be able to walk through here. I've seen your guys' costumes when you walk around. So
In fact, our producer's being mobbed by James Watson as we speak. He's fondling him inappropriately in the aisles.
Oh.
Tens of people have recognized.
Please tell me you're not putting James Watson on here.
What's that?
You're not putting James Watson.
He's been on enough. He's
Twice,
boycotted.
yeah.
Yeah,
I would too.
He actually
got the
holds
record.
he actually holds the record for most appearances on the Stray Cast show, Scott. It's true.
Really?
Yeah. And
He also holds a record for the only guy to do an interview without a shirt on.
yes.
Yeah.
And have a pet owl
He's got
in a hot tub. That happened. That's your guy. He's on your team, you know.
Most
He is.
beers
Yeah,
during
he
a-
is.
Hope you're
an
proud of
interview.
him.
Oh, we're super proud of James. We're so proud of James that in a couple weeks he's going to do demo rides for us at the Bass Pro Tour Championship.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, so you guys are around La Crosse, Wisconsin, come and take a ride with James.
Everyone can get a free demo ride in a Ranger boat from James Watson Worldwide at the Red Crest event.
That is correct.
Yes,
We'll show
free
you
boat
how to
rides.
miss
Are
a
you guys
wing dam.
coming? You guys come to Red Crest?
Yes, I will be there. I think I'm going to go Saturday or Friday, Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure where
I'm a
it
maybe.
is. Yeah.
It does go through the weekend, right?
It does.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm-
Friday,
I'm
Saturday,
gonna try to
Sunday.
do
Ends
that.
on Sunday.
We won't be broadcasting, but we're just going to hang out.
Oh,
and
that's
I'm
even
gonna
better.
I'm going to stay with you. Actually, I didn't tell you.
Oh,
yet.
I'm bringing it. Don't
Okay,
you
yeah,
worry.
I'll be with you.
We'll bring the tailgater.
Bringing the grill. Oh,
Do you have an
I'll
extra
be there.
bed or no? You got a
Hey,
couch
hey,
at least?
Yeah, I'm in now.
I think we'll just, worst comes to worst, sometimes we just sleep where we get done eating.
That's fine with me.
You're so full.
I'll
you're
lay
like,
my head
oh.
on a side of steak any day.
There you go. There you go. Maybe
Maybe
we
a
can
slice
find
of
some,
back bacon.
maybe we can find some tri-tip up there. And,
Oh, that sounds
Dial
good
it
to
in.
me. Ladies and gentlemen, he used to be Scott the Ranger guy. Now he's Scott the Grill Master. Give it up one more time for Scott Arms from Ranger Boats.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Hallelujah. They love you, man.
Yeah, I hear him.
Look at all the grillers.
Oh, wow. They just ran from James Watson when they heard that.
All right, hey, there's more FLW Cup action coming Stray Cast style in a little bit. We're going to go round up some unusual suspects. I'm Pat Renwick.
And hey, while we're gone, don't forget, go to Bavarni Jigs. He's giving away a free jig.
Yeah, BavarniBaits.com.
Every
Thank you,
order.
Ryan. That's right.
Yep.
You make an order, you get a free jig. You order 12 jigs, you get 3 free jigs. BavarniBaits.com. They're my favorite swim jigs.
FWC19 is the code. Put that in.
The comments. Thank you. Put the power poles down. We're coming right back. Hey now.
Yeah, man.
Hey now. Welcome back. It's the third day of the FLW Cup. Soon, someone's life will change drastically, dramatically. This is a prize worth $652 million to the winner. That is how far bass fishing has progressed.
That's only if you fulfill all your sponsorship obligations.
That's true.
afterwards.
And
yeah.
and that's in all 7 continents in 16 galaxies.
Yeah, you have to do seminars in Istanbul.
Yes, it's not Istanbul, it's Constantinople. Thank you.
Okay.
Get your geography right. But anyway, I'm your host Pat Renwick, and you can tell we're a little loopy. We've been talking a lot. We're it's the third day, and we're winding down. That's Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. He's extra loopy over there,
Extra loopy.
extra loopy, like little loopy. But this
I've been
dude,
working out a lot.
this guy is never loopy, except when he's eating cereal in the morning.
I hear
He
you.
loves them Fruit Loops. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for
Whoa, 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 whoa,
FLW
whoa.
Tour Pro.
I'm an Apple Jacks man.
I'm-
Apple Jacks.
me too,
Hey,
right
still
there.
a ring.
I actually,
no
yeah.
Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks.
He's an
Yeah,
Apple Jacks
yeah,
man.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
Hunter
Apple Jacks.
Freeman,
Yeah, nice to
FLW
meet
Tour
you.
Pro. That's him. That's him right there. I like Captain Crunch with crunch berries too. I'm not gonna lie.
I've never tried it.
It's really good.
It cuts your mouth open.
Well, it is a little coarse.
Too rough.
It is coarse.
You gotta let it get soggy. Captain Crunch.
The milk has to emulsify it first. Scott Arms will tell us about this, but the but you
Gotta
know,
marinate the Captain Crunch. in the
also
milk.
there's an amazing cereal called Oops All Berries. So
Is
it's
that from the dollar store?
it does. They do have that at the dollar store. Yes, it's Oops All Berries. It's seconds of Captain Crunch, and it's just berries, but they're phenomenal, and they're only $1 at the dollar store. It's great for you fishermen on a budget. If you want a great cereal, it's Oops All Berries. Not a sponsor, just hey, love the damn cereal. Anyway, back to the show. Hunter Freeman, FLW Tour Pro. How you doing, bud?
I'm
good
doing
to see
good.
you at the Force Wood Cup.
Yep. First time I've seen you. I'm glad to run into you.
Yeah.
I was taking
Haven't seen him all
selfies
week.
with pictures of you earlier at the Salmo booth.
Did you ever find that guy?
The guy that owes us money that
Yeah,
works for
owes
Salmo.
me money. Yeah. I've been telling nobody's found him. Yeah.
Where's he
I
at?
just keep getting punched in the face everywhere I go. I tell him if you find the guy, punch him in the face. He owes me money, and people just keep walking up to me.
But
hitting
just
me, and I'm
jacking
like,
you. Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, nice hit, man.
I kinda
Just walk
set
up.
Get a
that
picture
up.
of him and start a hashtag. So we
Yeah,
can find him.
yeah. Find this guy.
Where's Hunter?
Yeah.
Not on Live PD. I watched it last night and I didn't see you.
Nah, I was on cops
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah, you got away though, didn't you?
No, I was the guy at the store over there, like when they're like tackling the guy. And I'm
I
just
saw
driving, yeah, like,
everything. They were all right over there.
I
I
just
saw it
seen
all. It was everywhere. I
Yep.
saw it. I can't move any far back. I'm losing my mind.
Yep.
Yes. Hunter
That's
Freeman,
run into
dude.
a department.
Dude, it's let's not sugarcoat it. It's been a tough year for you.
It has. It had some ups and it had a lot of downs, a lot of learning experiences, but we're gonna get through it.
Yeah, and definitely, I think you said something very important right off the bat, learning experience, because
Yes, it was.
every derby
Yes.
was a learning experience for you.
Very much,
You had a
very
few,
much.
you had good things happen, you had bad things happen. You know,
Yep.
not making excuses, but you did
No,
have
no,
some things
yeah,
go
yeah,
pretty
I-
shitty for you.
Yeah. I had just a rough run of luck. Had it at home too, man. It just wasn't my year. It's over now. The only thing you do when something bad like that's happening, push through it, keep going. Don't make excuses. Get through it. Next year will be better.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had Paul Benson on the show first, and he was talking about calibers of professional fishermen, and
Right.
and we all go through these cyclical fishing phases, right?
Right.
But it's always a growth process, and what he found was amazing, and I think you'll find this interesting, Hunter, is that in the higher echelon of fishing that you get, your Brian Thrifts, your guys like Larry Nixon that have been around forever, your John Coxes, there comes that element where you have that learning process, and then you kind of plateau for a little bit, right?
Right.
But then there's that other process where you realize as an angler or even as an individual in life itself that there is always more to learn.
Oh, absolutely.
Always, and you said it
Absolutely.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah,
admirable, man.
absolutely. I've always been taught, and I've always said, no matter how good you are or how well you know something, there's always somebody better. Always.
Yeah.
Whether or not they've came out and they want to be known, there's always somebody better.
Yeah.
I mean, in anything. I mean, it might be, you flicking that quarter,
Yeah.
at the hotel playing quarters with your boys.
Exactly.
The guy around the corner might be like, I'm a quarter stud.
Yeah.
You don't
He's
even
like,
know, you know.
Toink.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean, like
every time.
like JP over there, he's the beer pong champion of the area.
He is. He's a nice guy.
If he come to my area, he would lose. I'm just telling you.
I don't know if I've ever told Hunter. I'm a pretty cool guy.
Oh, he's a cool guy.
Beer pong comes with that too.
These past few days,
He's a
JP
cool
and
guy. Just ask him.
JP and Hunter Freeman have become the best of friends.
Yeah, we
they're
have.
they're
Yeah.
inseparable.
It's true. Except when I walked away last night. Didn't tell anybody, but I just vanished.
You did. You kind of.
Man, I got chased by a dog, like in the middle of Hot Springs downtown. I was running. Like creepy
So you
people,
were on Live
I'm
PD.
running.
I missed
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Did you do the tip that Pat taught you
What?
to blend in?
This is how I blend in
when
in
the
Hot
Any other
Springs.
sketchy
How'd you
characters?
blend
Just
in?
take your
Yeah,
shirt
I just
off.
take my hair out of a ponytail and take my shirt off and walk down the street and nobody bothers you.
Yeah.
Little drool
Yeah,
too.
that's true.
Little
Yeah.
drool will help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little drool, runny nose,
Yeah,
get
just,
to places.
Just like jump in the bushes, put some leaves in your hair.
Walk right down the middle of the street too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just walk straight down a black alley. You know, there's a guy like sitting there waiting with his gun and his knife, like Rambo mode, waiting to attack. You go walking through there, like beating through, like
Take that shirt off.
He's one of us. Let him go. Let him go.
He's cool.
Let him
He's
go.
cool.
Yeah,
Let him be.
yeah.
Let him
Prison
be.
tattoos and all. Let him go. Yeah. He's good. He's a good guy.
But you're constantly learning, and
Oh, absolutely.
You're on the
Yeah.
cusp right now. You're on the cusp of. So are you? So are you back in next year? Is that the deal? Like what's going on exactly? I want to know.
Yeah, man, I was in until the last event, and I got like the ultimate bitch slap of my life in that tournament. No excuse. I just, it was me. But it dropped me below the top 100, which was, starting the year. Obviously, Joel was rookie of the year. Cut a check in every event. And like I said, it started out great. Cut a check in the first one. Florida, I learned my lesson in Florida. Went to Seminole, was in great position to win going into the last day. Still ended up making the top 10, all that. And then it was just like the monkey or like Donkey Kong, like when he hits the drum and I'm the one in the middle. And he's like hitting it the whole time. I mean, he's getting after it. And but so, never would I thought I'd fall outside the top 100, and I did. Everybody.
It's humbling.
Everybody asked me about it in town. From being on top of the world. Like I was here last year. I fished this tournament. I was the one college kid.
Right.
Taking pictures with kids and all that. And I'm just alone here, driving in the corner. Like, what's up, yo?
What's going on? Everybody's looking for that money you owe them.
You want to buy some baits? But yeah, so I'm like, I think I talked to Bill earlier. I was one of the first guys out. I'm hoping I'll get back in. In my head, I'm planning I'm going to get back in.
Of course, you need to be.
Yeah,
you
in
need
my
to
head,
be.
I'm planning I'm going to get back in. Worst case scenario, if I don't, I'm still going to fish the coasters and to get back in. I got at home, all that stuff. Planning for the best. Just going to take whatever happens and run with it. But hopefully, get back in.
Yeah, you're fishing regardless.
I think you're going to be okay.
Hope so. I hope you're right.
I know.
Yeah.
You're
the
gonna
majority of the time he's full of shit, but I'm
No,
hoping
I
this
mean,
time,
you can tell when I get serious, Pat.
Whoa.
I get serious.
Yeah.
It's serious.
It don't
Pat,
matter
right
how serious you get. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, JP's a cool guy.
Yeah.
But I
He's
mean,
told you. Yeah.
it's
Whoa.
not tough, man.
Yeah.
It is tough to
it-
excel at this level.
Yeah, I got like a good humbling dose. I came out of college, and actually, if you look back, my first year of college went pretty rough. It went almost identical to this year. Would have great practices. I remember like texting my parents at home. I'm like, man, we're gonna catch them. Then we bomb, and it was like, what happened? And then it's maybe you ain't cut out to do this. And then we had one good one, went to a tournament where we should have got destroyed. And we almost won it. Ended up getting fifth. We were like 4 ounces off the lead. If they had made a 3-day, we'd have won that sucker.
Man.
And that was the end of that year. Had like one good highlight. Second year, we kind of started doing pretty well. Third year, we started kicking ass. So I'm kind of hoping that's like, you got to get comfortable. I mean,
exactly. Dude, it's your second year.
Yeah, bottom line, you're going out there against a bunch of guys that have been doing it.
I just turned 22 in December. I'm young. I tell people that. People come up to me, how old are you, 28, 29? I'm like, I'm 22.
You look about 49.
I appreciate that.
You look a biscuit younger than I am.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, just a little dog treat, like a milk bone, throw it at them. But, I've never even fished a coaster. I fished 2 BFLs in my life. And then, I was fully planning on finishing out my college career, but you win, and it, like my dad told me, so what's the best thing to happen? You win it twice.
Yeah.
And he said you win it twice, and you just come back, and then you go. He's like, just go. And I talked to some people that were like good mentors for me, and I asked, I said, do you think I should go? Do I stay? Maybe even the people at home, people I thought would be like, no, you don't need to do that, and they were like, man, if you can get it, go. And
Why not?
And they're like, go. And then. Even my girlfriend, she was like, that's what you went to school to do. She's like, go. Like, it's what you want to do. I was like, yeah, and I jumped out. And then, I feel like it's like a life test. Like, it's kind of, you hear like these stories from people down the road, like, and they got that rough beginning. Like,
yeah.
I'm hoping like this is the rough beginning, and it's not just like an endless gravel road that turns into the Grand Canyon. I'm gonna fall off.
Dude, it happened to Dudley. Yeah. It happened to Terry Bolton. It happened to Brian Latimer.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
There's not many stories that guys come
Fred
in and say,
Rumbanis.
no, it's pretty good right from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah. I just
Everything
kicked ass.
went great
Day one,
for
it was
20
really
years.
easy, and I got a great house and tons of nice stuff.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's best every time.
Yeah. I still think about like the stuff there was some stuff that was out of control this year, but the stuff I did, like thinking back on it, and then you just gotta forget about it. But,
sure. Move forward, bro.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. First one's at Rayburn again, right off the bat.
Yeah.
I know the place pretty well. Last year I panicked because of the high water, and I let it get in my head. But I'm hoping this year it's normal level and we get frisky.
There you go.
Yeah.
Catch that first one.
So what is the lesson that you learned about season 2?
Just don't suck.
Don't suck, basically. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Leave the suckiness at home.
Avoid the dock talk. Number one,
Okay.
avoid that.
Yes.
And plus I did. I took myself fishing. When I say I took myself, I fished solo for so long, like at home, and I didn't guide, just everything else. Like me and my partner I fish with, when we'll go practice, we're in 2 different boats, and then we'll meet and kind of be like, they're here, and like there's our 6 running places, and we'll run. Like I trust what he says, he trusts what I say. But as far as like fishing in the boat, and then like even in college, it was like we'd kind of like show up, meet Thomas, and we'd go fish tournament, and then all right, man, see you later. See him like a month later, and you got used to fishing with somebody in the boat, like as far as practice. And there were several times in practice and college events, like I'd be Rayburn in particular. We were up there, I'm flipping bushes. Fish are about to spawn. I'm flipping bushes, throwing a big blade and stuff. No, I was throwing a chatterbait. Same one I bought earlier. That one, yep. Mm-hmm. They're on sale right around the corner. I robbed them.
Don't tell anyone. I want to go get some.
But I told him, I was like, man, pick the spinnerbait up. I'm going to use you as a test dummy. And he's like, I ain't throwing that. I was like, just throw it. He ended up throwing it and, like, figuring out a little bite. But if you're that's one thing about practicing by yourself. You can only throw one bait.
Right, one at a time.
If you're at a place you've never been before, and he ended up getting on that bite. And that, like, probably kicked out, like. Still, a lot of our better ones came on the chatterbait and stuff, but he caught several key 4-pounders that, like, kind of, about when you lose hope, it give you a little kick in the ass in the middle of the day. Yeah, it was one of those. But also, like at Kentucky Lake, we'd be struggling or something. He would, pick up a shady head, behind him out the back of the boat. Like, there is fish in the area. They're just not biting.
Right. Just
Versus you're out of town, you're at Chickamauga, you pull up to the juiciest place on the river, and you hit at the wrong time. And then, like, you get your, teeth kicked in, whatever, motor blow up, whatever.
it's all same.
Yeah. But you drive home and you look, and, like, the guys in third is just beating them off the place. You didn't get a bite, and you're like, shit.
How does that happen?
That fishing without a co-angler is like hunting without a bird dog,
Oh, yeah.
It's basically
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like
man.
a hunting reference after last night I told you I never hunted before.
It's like going to centerfold with no money.
It's
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
It doesn't work out too well, does it?
It takes a tool guy and makes him an untooled guy.
So I've met a lot of bass fishermen in my days, and I'm going to safely say that I have never met a bass fisherman with more pictures of 8-pound plus fish in their phone than Hunter Freeman.
Yes.
I never get tired of looking at big fish, but when you're going like this for like 35 minutes.
There's a 9. There's a 10.
Yeah, 9, 10. Oh, this one was good. This one was
close
only
to 11 right there.
6'9", though. This one wasn't too big. Oh, here's a 5.33. That's a little guy. Oh, no, look at this one, Pat. Here's an 8. No, but that's kind of little, too. Oh, look at this one. That's
That's
a healthy one. 10.39. See that one, Pat? It's ridiculous, Hunter. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm fortunate to live by a lake that has really good genetics.
Yeah.
It could be really good if they would, like, we're starting to get grass growth back in it. If they'll leave it alone. The place was world famous. I mean, Roland Martin came. Hank Parker's fished it. I seen him earlier. But, yeah, Roland actually fished a tournament out there.
Is that right?
Yeah. Back, like, one of the old Bassmasters, they came out there back in the 90s.
In fact, because of the size of the fish there, that's when he originated the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounder. It's a big 6, 7, big son. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounder. Right?
Whoa.
That's from there. That's from your lake.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't get the credit for that. But, no, the lake was full of grass back in the 90s. I mean, it was topped out in 25, 27 foot.
Wow.
It was going down the dam, and the dam is like
Really?
12, 30. Like, it's like that. But they say it was topped out going down it, and I wasn't born during that time.
Okay.
Because I'm like 14.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but, I mean, it was, you heard the stories, like, even my dad talked about it. He said, we didn't know what we were doing. We just see a hole in the hydrilla and take a crankbait and, like, pull it and, like, 7, 8 pounder come up and eat it. And then, but Wildlife and Fisheries, they put some carp in, and they said they were sterile. They wasn't. They bred like crazy, and they ate the entire place bone clean. And it went horrible. It went downhill. But it's coming back. We're getting some hydrilla growth back now.
Nice.
I'm hoping they don't mess with it. If anybody's listening from Wildlife and Fisheries,
Leave it alone.
leave it alone. But JP's crazy.
So, does it spoil you? Because,
no, but
like,
it will get you in bad habits.
Yeah,
like,
because you go on tour and you're fishing, you're fishing great fisheries, but let's face it, it's tough. But
Yeah.
you go to your place and you're
yeah.
just jacking nines, bro.
Yeah, well, that I mean, that like doesn't ever come in. But one of the bad, when I say getting bad habits, like especially this time of year, it's a timber deal, it's a creek deal, a couple brush piles here and there. If you pull up and you see them and you don't get bit in 3-4 casts,
Get out of
roll.
there.
And that's like one of the things that like I go out of town that I have to like, I'm so used to pulling up, place that looks good, you either pull up. I got a theory that I developed fishing down there. They're gonna bite or they're not. If they don't bite, come back.
Okay.
And, like, it's not like, oh, we're gonna grind it out all day. No, I mean you pull up, you don't get bit, leave, come back. And then like, out of town, you don't have those 300 waypoints to go run.
Right.
You're like, well, I got a dock. And I got the boat rent we put in at, which is off limits, so I got the dock. So. That's how my practices go. You be talking to people, and I'm like, I'm probably just going to catch release fish off the boat rent. Well, and then Bill Taylor comes up, well, it's off limits for the first 5 miles down the lake. And I'm like, oh. Well, my dock's inside that, too. So,
So now I got nothing.
And my marshal shows up, he's all excited. We going to catch him? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
You got your spots.
Yeah.
Hey, Hunter, we got Renee watching on Facebook.
Who's Renee?
He's just a fan.
Oh, hey, Renee.
What's up, Renee?
Yeah.
He just wants to know, what's a technique you wish you were better at or you're currently working at becoming better at?
Smallmouth fishing.
Easy one, isn't it?
JP told you what to do like 10
just
times.
throw the
last
Ned
night.
rig out, let it drift, huh? Yeah. What's bad is I can catch those smallmouth. Like, I catch them, and it's just, I'd go, and, like, we don't have them anywhere around here. Like, I think Ouachita's got, like, 4 in the whole lake, and you can't possess one. Gussie caught one last year, like, second cast, had to throw it back. In the
Wow.
cup. Yeah, caught with a 4-pounder, had to throw it back.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't
He
know
said he
that.
throws a finesse jig out, sets the hook, and he's like, man, it's a good one. He's reeling it in. It's a smallmouth. Had to throw it back.
Oh,
You can't
no.
possess them by Arkansas law.
Wow.
But so we don't have anywhere to practice them, and then like the ones like in Pickwick and stuff are completely different than the Champlain, St. Lawrence, like all that. That's why I went up there and spent that week at St. Lawrence. But it was so stupid. I mean, it was like you see one, throw the Ned rig, and but,
I liked when you were drop shotting down on the. I saw it on your IG. You're just dropping.
oh yeah, that was a cool video.
Yeah.
I had another one, but somebody like him had a potty mouth. Yeah. But no, man, that was like the 50th one. And what's bad is I'm like filming it, just like don't take a video. By the time my buddy sticks it, and I was like, that was dope. Like, I kept it. And then
It's
I
a
posted
different world.
Yeah, it
smallmouth
is. But
fishing.
like my deal is, like you get on them in practice. Like what happened to me at Champlain, I was banging them in practice. Like had all the confidence in the world, taking off day one, go out, catch almost 18 in the first 2 hours. Done. Spend the rest of the day to practice. Go back day 2. They're still there. I'm getting the bites, and like they would just eat it and throw slack at me. And my lack of smallmouth experience burnt me. And it's not like one of them things. Like I could move up there and stuff, but then I'm giving up guiding at home and all. It's just I need more experience with it. That's why. I legitimately a lot of times you'll talk to somebody with fishing and stuff, and like somebody like JP and. You listen to what they got to say, but these smallmouth guys, I like really listen to them. Like you can tell they'll be telling me something.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like over there like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah. Like just listening to it. Like even my marshal at Champlain on day 2, he was telling me, he's like, man, if this ever happens, they can't talk to you in the tournament. But
Right.
after I went from 32nd to 150, I think you talked to him. But yeah, he's telling me, if it ever gets slick, he's talking about like downsizing line, downsizing weights of the heads and stuff. And I mean, I took note of all of it. Like, we don't have them. Like, like I can show you some stuff, popping a big head out of some brush or, some grass, big line, big hook. But up there, I'm throwing like 10, thinking I'm going to break it on a 2-pounder. Like,
it gets iffy.
and then I talked to him last night, we're eating. He's like, I like throwing 4. Sometimes I'll go to 2.
2. Wow.
I haven't done the 2 as much.
But he's like, I like throwing 4 when I'm punching, and I'm like,
on the 1 ounces.
oh,
Yeah.
If I go 1.5,
If you
I
talk to
will go to
Aaron-
5. I will go to 5.
If you talk to Aaron Martins, he'll tell you about 2 pound and 3 pound.
Aaron flips with 15 braids sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
True story.
Mm-hmm.
True story. But I wouldn't.
You know
That's
that
Aaron,
thing-
though.
You know that thing you said about pull up there, fishing for 2 minutes, if they're not there,
Yeah.
move on?
Yeah.
That's smallmouth fishing.
Yeah,
So basically, he's right. I mean,
They bite
you'd fit well
right
with
away.
that. You would totally fit well with
Yeah.
that. Hey, you've got a pretty cool thing going with Salmo crankbaits, and that's why you're here at the Cup helping them
Over there
out.
working the booth, slinging some baits.
And I know you're a big fan of the old deep diving crankbait. You like to catch a few of them old big heads on the deep diver, don't you?
Yeah.
So I know Salmo is, and this is top secret, but I'm going to break it right now. Breaking news. All right. The new Hunter Freeman deep dive in Salmo crankbait will be available someday.
Oh, whoa.
Someday.
Maybe.
Mark it.
Someday.
Mark it. Write it down, mark it. Just get it tattooed someday right there.
And it also it's a lot of times we see that people add hair to treble hooks on the back.
Yeah.
But what they've actually done is made an actual hair across the whole top of the crankbait. So
Look at
it's
that.
actually Salmo. It's the Salmo Hunter Freeman Signature Series
yeah,
crankbait.
Yeah. It's just not out yet.
No, it's not out.
It's not
coming.
someday.
It's
It's
coming
someday.
someday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has someday. Someday.
Yeah.
Where's my dum 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 music? Someday. I'm gonna keep saying someday.
You ever heard that song "Someday"? By
Someday.
By who?
Someday.
Yeah.
It's off of Never Back Down.
Someday. Where's the dun 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 music?
Yeah.
Andy, give me dun dun dun. No, not that one.
That's like JC Penney's music.
Now in lingerie, step through. We have a friend.
Yeah.
Someday. No,
Someday,
but
yeah.
You are working on crankbaits.
Yes. We're we got stuff we're working on for
I made that
2021.
awkward intentionally, just
Yeah,
so you know.
yeah. I mean,
Thank
there's
you.
a couple of
was
things
a
in the
Marty Stone
process.
question.
The
Yeah.
swim bait that is out, that is not available for purchase. Everybody's came by the booth. I'm sorry. Everybody looks at it and they're like, "Oh my god,
That's a nice looking swim bait.
Oh my god, yep. I'll take 10 of them. Like, well, they're not for sale. And then they're like. We got them up there like on this big display thing with my picture. That guy owes me money on the side. And he, but they're not for sale yet. But they'll be out February. They'll be good.
Nice.
They'll be good. They're going to work for every species, especially like y'all up north. Pike will love them. Have y'all seen just that picture Fat Cat Newton posted with the black guy in the yellow suit, and he's like,
No,
and it says when a pike sees your brand new $20 lure.
Oh, yeah, I did
And he's
see
like
that.
behind the tree.
I did see that. Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly
Man,
true,
I
isn't
had
it?
I had some Vision 110s destroyed at Champlain by
Oh.
some pike. You
Yeah.
They,
bow up. And then I got 2 jackhammers ruined too. I forgot about that.
oh yeah, they'll do that.
Like instantly know it's not a bass. Like,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah,
a
you
bass.
throw a jackhammer with some chartreuse in it in Wisconsin.
These were green pumpkins.
No,
well,
Pike
any
just
of them
destroyed
really,
them.
but
so
you
you don't
put
have
chartreuse in it.
any chain pike or
gone.
pickerel or nothing in your deal?
We got Pedro. Oh, at Caney?
Yeah.
No, we got gar. Yeah, just speaking of that, it's crazy stuff. I caught the catfish on a frog. It's on my Instagram.
Yeah,
Check
that was
it out.
awesome.
Really?
Yeah, if I'd had the video, it'd be viral. It'd be cooler than JP. But so I fished a night tournament. You know, they got one every Thursday. Been fishing on the past couple of weeks. I fished with my dad last week. We won. We pull up and we're just sitting on top of a ridge, sitting there, and these fish pop up schooling. So I'm borrowing a boat now. I'm sold mine, waiting on a new bass cat to come in. It's my partner's boat, but he's got a swim bait tied on. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like throwing it at the schoolers, and I caught like 2 little ones and all that. Well, told Dad, I said, look, it comes. I was like, see that boathouse across the lake? I said, it comes up right there. So throw your worm over. It's cloudy. I was like, buy me worm over. Dad is like notorious for just like all the fish be this way, and he makes a cast that way, and hits like a pushing 10 in the head. The picture, the one him holding.
You
That's
see
like
heaven's lights coming down.
Exactly. Yeah. So he, I told him buy him over. You know, his first pull with a worm, the rod bows over. He sets the hook. I was like, it's a big one, ain't it? He's like, oh yeah, it's a good one. That sucker comes up and jumps like a 4-foot long gar on a big worm, man,
really?
in the middle of some trees.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah, that sucker jumped that high out of the water and it just spaghetti noodle. Yeah. I was like, what in the world? And then he gets up to the boat and I was like, man, you got that. It's just teeth. Like,
In deep water on a gar. That's
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
On an old monster, yeah.
You got them shoe picks over in there?
Oh, adrenal, yeah. Shoe pick, yeah. I've actually never, like, the tune asses call them shoe picks, but, yeah.
Those are just notoriously hated fish everywhere.
Yeah. You get down south, like around New Orleans and, Gonzales and all that, they'll eat them.
Yeah, that's what Hackney says. People eat that stuff.
Man.
He don't eat them.
That's horrible.
But he says people
Man,
eat-
we went to a restaurant. It's a buddy of mine from college. His girlfriend, she's from Thibodeau. They got a restaurant down there on the menu, shoe pick sandwich.
Who does that?
I swear to God, it's like a nice restaurant, shoe pick sandwich.
The old shoe pick sandwich.
Mhm.
That's one of the few.
Those things are disgusting, dude.
I'll grab barracudas. I've actually grabbed sharks before fishing.
Barracuda, shark, grinnell.
Yeah.
Dude, no.
All in the same pot.
Well, I won't. I don't like touching mudfish or
Yeah.
grinnells.
No,
I
they're
don't like
disgusting.
them.
They're dangerous.
I get
to
like a
handle,
little
man.
girl around
Yeah,
them.
man, you go to the Ouachita River, which is like just a river by the house. We went like out in the back of Boggius, where like Albert Collins won the Bass Nation Championship and all that. You get back there throwing like a little whopper plopper or something. Jesus Christ! You could film. You could have a special YouTube series, tarpon in the trees.
Yeah.
They look like tarpon. They come up and eat it, and they're like in the cypress trees.
Yeah, they will.
We thought
break
that
your
catfish
heart.
was a grinnell the whole time. Like it come up and just like throwing its
That's
tail.
so weird that you caught that on a frog.
And we set the hook and we're like, oh, it's a grinnell. And then, I mean, it's just taking. We knew it was a giant. And it comes up. I was like, that's a blue cat. And I reached down there and like gill grabbed it. And I was like, I've got to get a picture of this. And I said, it's the biggest one I've ever caught. Like
it was unbelievable. Yeah.
We went catfishing all the time when I was a kid. I was like, this is the biggest catfish I've ever caught.
And you boat flipped it with your Falcon rod, didn't you?
No, I didn't boat flip that one. No, I grabbed it. Yeah, I boat flipped some good ones. Yeah. Man, a buddy of mine at home, he boat flipped a 10 on Toledo.
That's amazing.
On a swim jig. He didn't know it was that big. He just like, it's from me to you. He said he was just going by. It's a dude I was just at Raven with. I said, yeah, I caught that 36 pounds with Corey. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but he's going by, flips a swim jig like 10 foot over, so he's just reeling it just a bit, comes up like around the boat, so he just boat flips. Said it like, he said that fish, man, I'm telling you, it was like length this Mountain Dew bottle. He said hit the carpet and it just went. Like it grew, and he said, I was like, God, no.
That's what you need in every tournament.
Yeah, he said I waited. He said it was a 10-pounder.
That's
That's what happens with those smallmouth a lot. Their heads all the same size, and then you get them out of the water. And
it's a giant frying pan.
Yeah, they got a
attached to it.
softball in their
Well, that's what he said. He said the only reason, he said it was all in one motion. He's like, it was literally like my flip, and like I'm reeling it. He said I just like set the hook and just kept it coming. He said the fish ate it like right there. 10-pounder on Toledo Bend.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Back when Toledo didn't suck.
Absolutely. Hey, if you're not already following Hunter Freeman on Instagram, follow him on Instagram. Very easy. Hunter Freeman.
Hunter Freeman Fishing.
Hunter Freeman Fishing. It's right there.
Pretty hard to mess up.
On Instagram. Check him out. FLW Tour Pro Hunter Freeman. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, just thank you for having me.
Dude, it's always a pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun as hell to hang out with you, bud.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
No, you're good.
JP?
What up?
Yeah, that's it.
You're a cool guy, Hunter. You're a cool
If
guy.
this was the 8 Mile group, JP, you know who you would be?
Eminem's mom?
No, Cheddar Bob.
The guy who shot himself? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That
is horrible.
I've actually heard that before.
That was horrible.
You kind of look like Greg Buell, too. The guy was with Eminem's mom.
Yeah.
You know, he comes out of the trailer. That was him. That was him.
I'm basically like,
he comes out of the trailer. Sweet home Alabama.
That's him.
That's
him.
I'm
he
basically
plays that role
50% of that movie is just me. Yeah.
Pretty much.
It is.
Yeah.
Hey, Hunter, I've been doing this bass fishing talk show for this is the 4th day in a row now, and I'm getting a little tired. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Would you like to do the honors and take us to break? We have the guys from Power Pole coming up next. Curt Hill from Power Pole's coming up next. And, you want to just tell them to put the power poles down and hang out?
Put the poles down. Let's take a break.
Hunter Freeman.
Shoot him or grab him.
See you in a minute. Welcome back. 2019 FLW Cup action commences.
Hey.
I'm your host, Pat Renwick, and this dancing maniac next to me is the one and only Curt Hill from Power Pole.
Yay!
Yes.
There they
Welcome
are.
back.
Look at them all.
They love you.
I know.
You see all the big. They have actually Curt Hill fat heads they're holding up on the sticks. They're holding them up on power poles.
They were hoping I was fishing so that I could win this, but
Well, you were leading up until today, so the lead kind of slipped away from you, Curt.
It's the only thing you got to fish it to win it.
yeah. If I started there, that would be a good start.
You know, you can't win it on the first day, but you can't lose it on the first day either.
That's true.
Because you got to fish it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But congratulations, an amazing tournament finish for you, Curt, and I think you're one of the unsung heroes of the professional of the FLW league.
I like it.
Yeah, you're doing real, but it's become a tradition, hasn't it, for you to be on this show at the FLW Cup?
It has. I've been here the last couple of years and done this show with you. So it's always fun.
And I
We
look
always have a
forward.
good
I look
time.
forward to it, and I like how you loosen up a little each year. You know, the first year you were like when you first started sponsoring us, and we had you on. I think it was like 3 years ago. You were kind of like, all right, I'm not sure what this guy's
You
doing.
didn't know where to put your hands.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
But it kind of progressed, and so you know what you're getting now.
Yeah.
You kind of know what you're in for.
Well, some of the questions I'm not sure I'm prepared for, but we'll make it work.
Well, I gave you ideas over the years. I gave you the light up power pole Christmas decorations for Bass Fisherman's House. Saw you didn't use that.
No.
Saw you didn't use that. I mean, I don't think there was a better idea until I came up with the knock the bottle cap off of the water bottle power pole video.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was probably one of my most brilliant ideas ever. You know,
Really didn't take that long.
yeah,
either.
I just want to keep talking about my brilliant ideas. Is basically why I had you here today.
Let's keep going on these brilliant ideas.
I'm out of brilliant ideas,
No,
unfortunately.
you're not. You know you have another one coming.
You're right. I do have another one coming.
See, I knew it was in there. You were waiting to get me on the show before we'd talk about it.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. But speaking of new ideas, I'm doing this right out of the get-go, and we're getting this out of the way because people know that the Straight Cast Show is affiliated with Power Pole. Again, another idea of mine, put the power poles down. We'll be right back. I invented that too. Thank you. Thank you very much. But a lot of people come up to me and say, Pat, what's up with the power pole trolling motor? Like, tell me, because I know you know, Pat. I know you know something's going on. You talk to people at Power Pole, and I say, I don't know. And they think they're lying. They think I'm lying to them.
Well,
So-
for the fans,
Yeah.
I can reassure you, he doesn't know anything because I can't tell him anything.
But I ask him every time I talk to him, and he says, I don't know anything. But I think he's lying to me. I do. I took CIA courses, and I can tell by the way that your left eyebrow hair is moving right now that you are actually...
You're profiling me.
I am profiling you right now,
yeah,
and I can
yeah.
tell you know a lot more about this power pole trolling motor than you're letting on.
Of course I do. I work there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We forgot
Remember?
that part.
Oh,
we
yeah.
left that out a
Ladies
little
and
bit.
gentlemen, Curt Hill from Power Pole is with us today. It's Curt Hill. He's a big
Oh,
shot.
there they are again. There's my fat head.
Yeah, he's a big shot at Power Pole. Yes. Tell us something about it. Just something. It's been 3 years that you've been teasing the Bass Galaxy. Tell us something.
Well, in the last 3 years, I basically said, I don't know what you're talking about.
yes.
So I can at least give you, yes, we are working on a trolling motor.
Okay.
And, JL Marine Systems, Power Pole, builds the best quality products on the market, and this is no exception.
That's total boat control. So what color is it?
Can't tell you.
Give me a color that it's between.
I heard it has 3
There's
props.
a spectrum that you can look at.
Yes.
I heard it has at least 3 props, maybe 4 props.
You know more than I do.
What?
I didn't know you worked at Power Pole.
No,
He's the new guy.
The new guy. He got into the engineering building
He's still in his
somehow.
probation
look
period.
around your testing facility a little closer. Might be a guy in a ghillie suit.
That's all you can tell us. Power Pole is making a trolling motor.
That's all I can tell you.
And that I can tell you something about your trolling motor. Are you ready?
Let's hear it.
I know that you will not release this trolling motor until it is 100% perfect.
I can tell you one other thing.
Yes.
We're going to support that product till the end.
Meaning?
Meaning after you purchase it, you don't have to worry about it because Power Pole is going to have the customer service that you expect and depend on.
Like you do with your poles.
Exactly.
So if something goes wrong on that trolling, like literally if something happens on a power pole and you have a problem, you're shipping that next day. It's everyone, not just people that you sponsor. Like
Correct.
say a pump goes out or something, which by the way, those new C2 pumps, quiet as a lamb's breath. Quiet as a lamb's breath. There's another one for you. That's another.
Quiet as a lamb's breath.
Yeah. Swift, silent, secure. Quiet as a lamb's breath.
We're going to have to get it in winter and you just barely see it breathing. Do a whole commercial shoot as that.
It's the new pump that's quiet as a lamb's breath. See, you and Zona. No, Zona does that.
Zona does
Zona
that.
does the breathe. Yeah, that's perfect. It'd be right after his Boat US commercial. He does the Power Pole Breathe Lamb's Breath commercial.
Lamb's breath. Yeah, that's right.
So it's going to be fully warranty, just like the poles are.
Absolutely.
And the components of the poles.
Absolutely.
So are you involved in any of the R&D of this, or do you hear feedback about this trolling motor? Or let's put it this way. In your research and development, your company's research and development about trolling motors in general, you probably did studies about the #1 problem that fishermen have with trolling motors. And I imagine you would try and rectify that situation.
Correct.
So what did you find is the #1 problem that people usually have with trolling motors?
I can't tell you that.
Come on. I'm going to say,
You wouldn't understand, Pat. It's a secret.
You're getting way higher than we need to go here.
lamb's breath.
Right. That's the level we're at.
Lamb's breath. And this is, I want to tell everybody too, I know this will be a fully retractable trolling motor. So you can pull it up onto your boat, and it also goes into the water to use it.
Yeah, it'll do that.
It's got all that. It's got a scissor jack mount. It's a new breakthrough scissor jack mount. Right?
Can't tell you that.
All right, enough with the dank trolling motor. I'm giving up. I tried to crack you, and I couldn't do it.
That's right.
I
But there's a cheese stain on the.
There is a cheese stain. Cheese stains on my pillow.
Pat got a little excited when he had his nachos earlier today.
You're exactly right, actually.
We asked for a yellow tablecloth. But
it didn't blend.
Just to prepare.
It didn't blend.
There'll be popcorn out here later.
Yeah.
That's him right there.
Yeah.
That's right, popcorn.
That's popcorn right there. So, man, I mean, just so people know, you've been with Power Pole for how long now?
Over 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
And you've seen a few things.
A couple.
You've seen a few things in your days, and what you've seen is the evolution of the pole, the Power Pole. I mean, you start with
absolutely.
the original Power Pole. You got the Sportsman 2 series, and then evolving into the Blade. And so it's just when you think you couldn't make a better Power Pole.
Well, and we developed the micro too for the kayak guys.
Absolutely,
so
yes.
That was during the 12 years I've been there as well.
Can you build a better Power Pole now? Is there advancement for that? What can we do?
Well, we're always working on new stuff, so we've got ideas, and right now most of our efforts are focused on a couple of new products like the Charge that's coming out hopefully right around the beginning of the year.
Okay.
And for battery management. And then, of course, the trolling motor. We're putting a lot of efforts into that right now. So the development on, evolving the anchors, it's down the road a little bit, but we've got ideas.
So what is your daily routine at Power Pole? So Curt gets up and kisses the wife and kids goodbye and heads to the office. And what's a day at the office like for Curt Hill?
Mostly computer and phone work.
Okay.
I mean, for me, I do all the advertising stuff. I handle, this show and all the TV shows. So like you were saying, Zona and all those guys, magazines, online, all the advertising, negotiating, all of our big trade shows, the FLW Cup, Classic, ICAST. I do all the logistics for all that stuff and make sure that we're, on track and making sure everybody's aware of our brand and what we're doing. And like this year, you found out we're 20 years in, so make sure everybody knows.
Absolutely. 20-year anniversary.
It's been 20 years.
Power Pole.
I can't believe that.
It's like, and you think about it too, man, it's like the first time we see him. I saw him for the first time in Florida, as I think most people did, the birthplace of Power Pole.
Yep.
But it's crazy how what I noticed as the evolution of Power Poles is as they started to make their way into the bass fishing market, people had one Power Pole.
Correct.
Okay, one Power Pole. And then you kind of figure out, hey, I think some bass pros start putting 2 of them on there, because they could.
Yep.
And then now it's like, it's just totally not cool to not have Power Poles, but it's still not cool to only have one. So get 2 Power Poles. What's wrong with you people?
It's true.
Right? Did I put that plain enough?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Okay.
It's funny. The first time I ever saw one, it was in Wisconsin. It was a tournament, the biggest tournament in my life at that time. I think there was 8 boats. Now there was actually like 40-something boats, but one guy had a Power Pole. There was one pole in the field, and I had a good spot, and the wind was blowing real hard on it on the second day. I was actually in the lead going into the second day. And this guy, I couldn't fish it. It was that windy. 3-footers rolling over this thing. He pulled up, dropped his pole on it, caught a winning bag. I guess.
Yep. Well,
I was
Son of a gun.
beaten
Just
simply
like that.
because of the Power Pole.
Yeah.
Perfect
It was
example of
it was
it.
at that point I'm like, I got to get one of those things.
And
Now
what
I got to get 2.
Exactly, and a lot of people don't realize you can get 2 because it's not just, as we mentioned, not just the Blade, but then there's the Sportsman 2, there's the Micro. And the Sportsman 2s are very affordable product. I mean,
Very affordable. They're $12.99.99, $1,300 for a single. But it's the economical. It only comes in matte black, and it only comes in an 8-foot model. But basically, when we developed the product, we said, all right, what's the most favorite things that people are buying? It was 8-foot.
Definitely
and it was black.
Okay.
Yep.
So we put those two into that product. We only made the one model of it. It's the Sportsman 2. You still get the Sea Monster 2 control system. It's still reliable and fast, and
They're quiet as a lamb's breath.
that's right.
These damn things are amazing. But the Sportsman 2, will there ever be a more economical power pole? Could that be a direction for a new product, or can
I think with the reliability, you'd start sacrificing
Sure.
certain things,
Strength.
and we don't want to do that.
No.
We're going to continue to build the best quality products on the market, and so probably not.
Okay. I didn't know if that, I mean, with advancement in materials and technology, I didn't know if anything like that could be possible. We saw, it used to be, we had $500 bait casting reels, and now it seems to be the dawn of the $99.99 bait cast reel,
Yes.
Right,
with
right.
still quality components. So who knows, as future.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
You never know.
as future progresses, it could be,
Yeah, I mean, we are trying to hold a whole boat here with the product, so
Yeah.
you got to use some quality
you,
product.
You better have a little
Yeah.
rigidity behind
Exactly,
you. You know what I'm saying. But, dude, Power Pole has certainly revolutionized the way I fish, and I know it's revolutionized the way that millions of bass fishermen across the country. I mean, and I could say that, right? Millions? Could I say that? I think, if there has to be a million Power Poles out there, right?
I don't know that number offhand.
I mean, we're counting individuals.
Right, individuals. Well, and you've got to think about everybody that uses it as a co-angler too. They're still affected by it. They know the difference between not having it and having it. So
Most co-anglers bitch about my Power Poles because they're always smacking their lures on them.
yeah, I've ripped the
They break crankbaits.
I've ripped the bill off a crankbait a couple of times, definitely. So
Yeah, it used to just be the engine. Now you
yeah,
And the only thing that actually scrapes the Power Poles as far as lures is tungsten. Tungsten is not friendly with Power
No.
Ding 'em.
no,
Yeah.
Tungsten. We saw a 16-inch Lowrance graph with a giant tungsten
Yes,
hole
we
through
did.
the middle of
Oh,
it
yeah.
yesterday.
Big hole in
That,
it, yeah.
that was quite a shot right there. So, all right, I seriously want to get back to your office day. Okay, a lot
My
of
office day.
computer work. I'm curious about this stuff. I like to know about people's work days. So you go in, you're doing a lot of computer, phone work, dealing with marketing, dealing with commercials. Guys like us, guys like Zona. What's a day? When's the day end? What is that? Are you a 9 to 5er? Or are you a whenever to whenever?
I kind of get there between 7 and 7:30 some point, and I leave at 4:30 in the afternoon most days.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So typical, office type job.
Yeah,
But
pretty
what's
typical. And then for the marketing side of things, I kind of am the liaison between the engineering building and our main facility in the marketing department. So I can kind of talk the engineering language with them, and then of course I have the marketing side of things, so I can discuss it with our guys and make sure that details are correct, it's in layman's terms, and that kind of thing.
Sure. So again, and back to your dealings, who's easier to deal with, like a Stray Cast show or a Mark Zona show? Who's easier to deal with?
Oh, both of you guys are easy to deal with. The whole industry, really. I mean, it's the fishing industry. Most of us are just a bunch of rednecks that like to go fishing.
Okay.
So we're pretty likable, pretty easy to
But
deal
you're a
with.
Florida redneck. That's a whole different breed right there. You're that JT Kenney type kind
Aw, I'm not that pretty.
But you're right, man. We are a whole tight-knit bunch, man, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much keep everybody happy, so we don't really have too many people that are hard to deal with necessarily, and it makes it a lot easier to establish those relationships and be in contact, because I don't have to contact you guys every day to know that you're out there still helping us out, because
But we like
you
it when you do contact us every day. It's nice to hear from you. So thank you. Sorry, go on.
But yeah, so the support's out there, and if I do need something, generally when I reach out for it, I can get it.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it should be. Hey, I want to tell you, seriously, thank you so much for believing in this show. I mean,
Yes.
we've been very fortunate to grow some in the past couple years, and maybe beyond our expectations, and you believed in us when we basically had 4 people watching, the whole so it's
So where are we at now? I mean,
there's
is there
6 people watching
There's
right
6?
now.
Okay.
There's actually
All right,
and wait,
cool.
7. Let's count her.
Oh yes, absolutely.
8, 9.
9, 10, 11.
Right in
where
front
our
of us.
numbers, but seriously,
Where's my fat heads? Oh, there we go.
dude, thank you.
Hey, no
I can't
problem.
thank you enough. That's Curt Hill from Power Pull
Thanks,
right there.
Curt.
Give it up, Bass Galaxy.
you.
It's Curt Hill. We got to clap for Kurt.
There
That's
we
what I'm saying. There we go.
These people have no idea who I am.
It's Curt Hill. You guys know Curt Hill. See? Yes. There it is. Kurt, what do you want to say before we get out of here?
Well, if you have any questions, call us. If you want to get more information about PowerPole, visit our website, powerpole.com. We've got some really cool designs on apparel and stuff, so check it out.
And Andy, put Kurt's cell phone number on there in case they got to get a hold of him. Yeah, just call. It's been up the whole time.
Sweet.
Perfect.
That's what those text messages are that are rolling in.
Yeah.
Curt Hill from Power Pole. Once again, thank you to the entire Power Pole organization. I'm Pat Renwick, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, JP High, and Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja. We're coming back. More FLW Cup. Put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. Okay, welcome back. FLW Cup 2019 Straight Cast Style Fishing Gypsy Roadshow. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. And,
When did you become a gypsy?
I don't know. I just gave myself that
Right now.
title.
Is that a title or a moniker?
It's a moniker. Hey, Andy, can you do me a favor and play the Stray Cast theme song for Mr. JT Kenney right here? This guy. I want you
This guy.
Now listen. This is the Stray Cast theme song. Now, I'm playing a little guitar. Ryan's on the drums, and I'm on vocals and harmonicas. Now, I would like you to listen to the lyrics to this song.
First line.
That's me.
Not the lyrics, but the music sounds incredibly like something else. Just incredibly like something else.
Like I
actually.
might have stole it,
I didn't say steal,
borrow.
allegedly.
What does it sound like?
I recognize it, but I can't say.
Well, I kind of
More of a tribute.
Well, it's more. Yeah, it is more of a
Tribute,
tribute.
I like that, yeah,
Because
nice,
the
nice.
song was originally an acoustic song, JT,
Right.
and I kind of did it with that Who song. Down, 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 down.
It's not what I was
down,
thinking.
down. What were you thinking?
Not that.
Look what the cat dragged in by Poison.
Maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I felt some Ted Nugent influence
Did you-
in there
did
a
you?
little bit.
Oh,
There was a
little-
little bit of Uncle Ted going on.
I see some Wango a Tango.
I'm not going to be offended by
This guitar is guaranteed to blow the beep off a charging rhino at 50 paces.
What's beat mean?
Beep means censored.
Oh.
It was going to say balls.
Bleep.
Right there.
Balls deep?
Speaking of balls deep, ladies and gentlemen, it's JT Kenney. He's an announcer.
and the crowd goes wild.
He's an announcer.
What wild?
How you doing, JT?
I'm actually doing excellent. You know, I actually didn't have on my schedule to come to the FLW Cup this year, but amazingly, I did a tournament with Ike and Ellie yesterday, an Ike Foundation Celebrity Pro-Am tournament, and just across the river from Philadelphia in someplace, New Jersey, and started driving home for the first time in 6 weeks. I was going to be home.
Wow.
And I looked at my phone because the FLW Cup's going on. And obviously, I mean, I'm a fan of the sport. I mean,
100%.
I competed in it for 22 years, but, you know, I'm a fan of the sport. And a lot of my good buddies are in it. Well, lo and behold, I look at the standings, and guess what? Two of my very best friends, Brian Thrift and Kyle Walters, are 1 and 2.
What do you know?
And I said, well, crap. I guess I got to go to Hot Springs. So I was going to stay at my buddy Wayne Vaughn's house last night and then drive the rest of the way home today. So I called Wayne and said, hey, I'm still going to stay at your house tonight, but I'm going to jump on a plane. There's a picture of Kyle right there. And Chris Jones.
And little Chris Jones.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Isn't that cute?
I'm tall, and Kyle's like 4 inches taller than me, so
Crazy.
he's a tall drink of water.
7-footer.
He's 6'7", but apparently a pretty good fisherman too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I told Wayne, I said, hey, I'm gonna fly out of Richmond tomorrow morning. The boys are first and second, and Wayno said, not without me, you're not. So, and there's a little backstory to Kyle and Brian and Wayne and I. So Wayne and I and Kyle stayed together at the Costa Series Championship last year.
Okay.
Kyle won.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, and then not last week, like 3 weeks ago, the Costa Series at Lake Champlain, Brian and Wayne and I stayed together, and Brian won.
Aha.
So, and now here at the FLW Cup, Brian and Kyle are 1 and 2. So we figured, Wayne and I, that if we got in on a plane and came out here, one of those two was going to win.
The odds are in their favor.
The odds are totally in their favor.
You got to have it happen.
Right. So we did the old burn up the credit card because the 5 hour before the flight purchase was a little steep. But don't worry, we're going to charge them for it.
Yes,
right. Oh, yeah.
Somebody's going to have a good check.
Yeah, and we figured since we did that, well, when we got to the place to get the rental car, I said, well, you got any BMWs or Mercedes back there? Because Kyle or Brian's going to pay for it.
It's only
so
respectful.
it doesn't make any so we rolled up in that black Benz out back.
That was you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're high riding it big time on money that didn't even won out on the lake yet.
Spending it before you got it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been doing that my whole life. Why stop now? And this time it's somebody else's money. It's not even mine.
So it's easy.
Well, yeah.
It's a
It's
no-brainer.
much easier to
That's
spend
not what
somebody
pay it
else.
forward means, by the way. That's not what pay it forward means.
It's not.
No.
This just in.
Dang it.
So who's? I mean, I know this is a very ridiculous and hard question, but who's it going to be? Who do you want?
Man, honestly, dude, it is ridiculously hard because Brian Thrift is not even an argument the best fisherman in the world. He's been so close. This is either his 9th or 10th, top 10 in the FLW Cup. Like, unbelievable. The guy, like, he has earned it.
It's his 10th, top 10, and 12th Cup.
Yeah, like he's earned it, like 1,000%. And me, being a professional for 22 years, like I want to see him win. But then we got the Cinderella story of Kyle Walters, who is, by the way, probably is my best friend, or definitely one of my best friends. He only lives like 7 miles down the road from me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah, we fish, and Kyle and I go on 2 or 3
That's your
hunting.
intercoastal buddy.
Yeah, but I mean, he obviously bass fishes a lot too. But we go on, me and Kyle go on 2 or 3 hunting trips a year. And if I'm home, which is rare, but around 5 o'clock, we usually have happy hour on his back porch. So we're back there drinking a couple of cold daddies.
Okay.
So, like I said, he's literally my best friend. So, we kind of, it's hard.
It's
like
a tough
literally,
call.
it's hard. Like the professional side of me wants to see Thrift win because he's paid his dues and he's earned it. But the other guy's my best buddy.
That's a tough one.
He's my fishing, hunting, beer drinking buddy. So, like, yeah, like
I think you want Walters more because you'll see him more than Thrift.
That's probably, I don't know, man. Literally, like, it's 50-50. Like, no kidding. Like, I'm going to be sad for somebody and happy for somebody here in about 3 hours.
But you're going to be partying with both of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, Thrift and Kyle are staying together. I got them hooked up. So,
and you got an awesome car to go cruising around.
Right. Oh, I'm going to burn tires off that thing.
See neutral drops.
Yeah. Do the old emergency brake slide, donuts and stuff.
So, man, I haven't seen you since the Classic. And how is it to have your first season of the Bass Pro Tour almost under your belt?
Honestly, dude, I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. I never thought at the beginning of it that I would have any problem doing the announcing thing. I was worried about missing the competition part of it. But, man, it's so much fun. It's so much fun to sit there and be able to watch those guys and just talk about it. Like,
yeah.
I guess it's my personality or whatever. I don't feel like I'm sitting there talking to, thousands and thousands and some days millions of people. Like, I'm just talking to the people that
it's like a sports show.
I can talk to the people that I can see, and just because there's a lot of other ears out there, but it's just fun. And like I kind of say whatever I want to say, whether it's
Yes.
it's the right thing to say or
They
not
like it.
sometimes. And people are seeming to gravitate towards that instead of all this, smoke and mirrors and flowers and candy and everything. It's been involved in professional fishing for all that time. I just kind of call it how I see it, and
I like it.
Apparently people also like that.
It's a whole new game. So you came from the same industry, but
Right.
it's a completely different beast, your new job.
Yep.
So, before you had to prep and practice for the tournament, but now you have to still prep and practice for the tournament, but in a different way.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of prep we do before the shows, and when I say we, I'm not talking about me. I don't do anything.
You don't?
I do nothing. Yeah, that's
What, do they
that's
hand
for-
you notes?
That's Chad and Marty's job.
Okay.
Yeah, they're up at night, doing stats and all this kind of stuff, and I do none of that at all. I literally show up and just start talking about it.
Because it's all up here.
No, I just don't really do anything.
Because you're busy.
Not particularly. No.
Because you just don't feel like it.
Right.
Okay, there we got it.
Yeah, no,
It's just that good.
I literally do no prep work at all.
He's Peter Gibbons
Gosh,
from
dang
Office
it.
Space, I think.
Maybe-
Yeah. Right.
You just don't feel it.
Yeah, I mean, like one of these days, I'm going to be cleaning stripers up there on the, on the desk, and just be like,
You're going to be hanging the BPT banner.
right, yeah. Like,
Bucket of crappies.
Next thing you know, I'll be the actual host instead of just the commentator if I start doing that. Be like, are these guys fishing yet? Like,
You guys,
oh, it's the third period already.
they-
Yeah, who's leading?
they
Okay,
They catch any?
yeah. How's the fishing been over there, guys?
Are they running?
Yeah, no, all kidding aside, no, there is actually a lot of prep work to do and stuff, but it's fun because it's about fishing. How's that not fun? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, it's great. So
So do you ever write material? Like, I know you're a funny guy, dude. I mean that respectfully and sincerely. You are a funny guy.
yes, the answer to that is yes.
Okay.
Because I'll be like, in an airplane going somewhere or something, and I'll just think of something and just start laughing. So if I start laughing to myself, I get on my phone and
I Google note it. I
put it on the
iPhone
notes. Absolutely, yeah. Because
I'm
I'm like, I don't even. And it's funny too because like Chad and Marty have kind of figured out when I'm going to drop one because like when somebody hooks a big one or something and it comes up out there and jumps and they haven't got it in yet and they see me grab my phone from under the desk and start going through it real quick, they know one's coming.
Here's a couple of my iPhone notes.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready? Those 2 Power Pole C2 monster pumps are quiet as a lamb's breath.
Ooh.
You like that one?
I do.
Quiet as a lamb's breath.
Maybe in the wrong aspect as well.
I have a self-governor on me like a rent-a U-Haul.
You absolutely do not. That is not true.
Yeah,
And
why did you
I
even
don't
say
need
that?
you spreading that kind of rhetoric in a family environment like this.
There is no governor.
It's not healthy to make instinct a second thought.
That's just dumb. Move on from that one.
Okay.
What are you, Yogi
That,
Berra?
yeah, exactly.
Maybe we should just go with this one. Read that out loud.
It's over, Johnny Rambo. See, that's awesome. That's awesome. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? Yeah, the instinct thing.
Let me see some of yours.
No, I can't do
Well,
that.
give us an example. Come on. I want to hear I want
there was
the mind
literally-
of JT Kenney.
There was, like, some of the stupid ones are like when they catch a big one, it's like, that mule's going to pull them a long way. Or I didn't know he was a farmer, a pig farmer. I got like a lot of them, but I don't want them to get stolen. Like, I want to have the original. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, if I let you peek and like, the man's watching from over the top. and he-
They are. They have your
Oh
face.
yeah, no, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't
Well,
wanna drop any
MLF
originals.
stole my JT Kenney Powers bit.
Well,
I invented that.
you kind of did.
I know. And then right away, boom. It should have
it's
said,
gone.
thank you very much for that line, Pat Renwick of Straycast.
It should have said
Straycast.net,
that.
Straycast Instagram, Straycast Facebook, Straycast YouTube.
That might have been a little far.
That's asking a lot.
Right, but they could have said, at Pat or something.
Yeah, at Pat, the guy with the long hair.
Everybody'd know who it was.
Yeah.
Or at least the important people
Yeah,
would.
exactly. Thank you very much. But, dude, it's pretty – I want to tell you, I really enjoy your style of commentary. Like, I mean, I really do. I mean, it's like right up my alley. I can't, I mean, obviously here.
As
okay.
long as you like it, Pat, it doesn't matter if anybody else does.
None of these people matter. None of you matter. None of you people matter as long as I like it.
Right.
That was the first conversation we had.
Yeah.
After watching the first day of the BPT.
Yeah.
For sure.
Kenny's awesome.
Yeah.
The first couple
Doing
days
good.
were a little shaky, but
What's the biggest mistake that you think you've made live? Good morning. Good morning, glory, hallelujah to you.
Your biggest mistake was not looking up.
I did
tell you that.
Got the taillights on that. But anyway.
I'm going to cut that off right there. I was going to keep going with that.
Your biggest mistake you've ever made on a live broadcast. Not this live broadcast, but I mean a Bass Pro Tour live.
So like the one deal is like I always wanted because like every time we come back in from break, Chad, who is the host and the show, awesome dude, become a great friend of mine. So he always gets to do like the welcome back to Major League Fishing's Bass Pro Tour, the Stage 6 Nina presented by Nitro Boats or whatever.
Sure.
Like I'm always doing that, just kidding around because that's not my job and I don't have to do that.
You like to do you put the voice on.
Right.
Yeah.
So one time in all the events we did, all the days, all the intros back into the show, his mic quit.
Really?
And he started to do it into his mic, and it wasn't like we could tell it wasn't on. And the producer was like, I don't know, do it, JT. And I went, ugh.
You just choked?
I completely choked. I was like,
you're never at a loss for words.
I know, but I was like, we're in Wisconsin at the Tracker Boats thing.
Bass fishing's cool.
I totally, and like I had said it like 8 times earlier that day. Welcome to Major League Fishing's Bass Pro Tour. I went, oh, we're in Wisconsin.
There's fish here.
Yeah, like the one time I had a chance to actually do the real announcer voice thing, and I biffed it. It was terrible.
So speaking of Wisconsin, tell me about the Red Crest, because I really honestly don't know too much about it.
Yeah, so it's basically the top 30 out of the points for the year for the Bass Pro Tour, and it's first place is going to be $300,000, and everybody gets a check. It's our championship event, and it starts next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday goes for 5 days. You can turn into MLF Now, MajorLeagueFishing.com, all those, and watch myself and Chad McKee and Marty Stone will be calling all the action, and Natalie Dillon. And we'll be calling all the action from that. And,
how many hours of coverage do you have planned? Do you know the answer?
So
to that?
it'll be 30 hours.
Wow.
So it'll be 6 or no.
It's like a whole day.
No, it's 6 hours a day. This one is 5 days. Most of them that we do are 6 days. Most of the regular Bass Pro Tour regular season events. This one's going to be 5.
Aren't you exhausted after that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm exhausted now.
A little bit, but not too bad. I mean, I like it. It's fun.
I like it too.
And we get breaks. We get breaks and stuff every once in a while. So it's really been a good time. So
the world famous Paul Benson.
World
famous Paul Benson.
Absolutely.
So when you did the contract with Bass Pro Tour, I know a lot of famous rock stars have certain, waivers, riders, arrangements in their contracts.
Absolutely.
What were some of those specialty add-ons that you had your attorneys put in the Bass Pro Tour contract?
Well, there was, some of them are really don't need to be talked about. They're pretty private.
But it's a talk show.
Yeah. But, in a public arena, it's probably not anything
Nobody's
that we really want to talk to. Well, I know that.
Come on.
Cameras aren't even out.
But, just when the car picks me up from the airport, make sure it's at 72 degrees. Like, I don't want it to be 71. I don't
Not
want it to
an
be
unreasonable
73,
request.
And, like, I don't want any well scotch. You know
None
what I
of
mean?
that.
Like,
None
when
of
I
that
open
garbage.
the door, like, no well scotch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, 3
You're above that.
3 fingers, 1 cube, like, just little things that make life at least bearable.
Yeah, and then you can do your job properly.
Right.
They don't understand that, some people.
Yeah, it's like, how am I supposed to say red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather? The arsonist had oddly shaped feet. How am I supposed to say that without scotch in my belly?
And with a nice
That
cube.
makes no sense.
With a whiskey cube.
The big cube.
And it has to have a JT initial on the whiskey cube. It's a special ice freezer.
I do have one of those.
Yeah,
at
I know
home.
you do.
Has the JTK emblem in it. I have it sitting right by my bed because the headboard says #winning.
And he also has a giant JT Kenney fat head that he got too that he puts next to his bed, and he gets up and kisses it every morning when he gets it.
I thought you weren't going to tell anybody
Well,
about
this
that.
is a talk show.
Right.
This is a talk show.
So anytime I say that, hey, Pat, we shouldn't talk about that on the air, and you say, oh, yeah, you're right, we won't, that's not true at all.
That's not true. It's
Okay, good.
Well,
Well,
now
at least I know where we're at.
Well, you're a member of the media now, too. You know that stuff. You know how it is.
I'm a member.
You're a member, all right. Member only.
Do we get, like, credentials with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You get credentials.
Just checking.
There's a contest going on right
Right.
now. It's right behind the Ranger booth over there. Scott Arms is the judge.
Right. Scott would be a good judge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you been seeing on social media, some of the grilling?
No.
Dude, I had him on
had a whole show
earlier,
about
not to
it.
talk about Ranger boats,
He's
but
been-
to talk about the grilling.
Dude, he has been, firing that wood pellet grill up. Been doing really good with it. Some of the stuff he makes I'm getting fatter.
Well,
Because I look at what he's cooking and I'm like, well, I can do that. And then I go on mine and try to do it. And I don't know if it's as good as his is, but
Well, the reason I asked you the question about the contract with the lawyers and everything, when Scott was on, he told us that you and him had an agreement that you were actually going to bring him on as your grill master, your personal grill master on tour. But then you kind of just let that go.
I just left.
That's
That's kind of how it goes. I just leave.
Sayonara.
Right, there's been a lot of times in my life where I leave.
Yes, gotta go.
Yeah, like I do the little genie move, cross my arms and nod. And
Like Shaq when he was a genie in that movie.
Shazam.
Kazam.
Yeah,
Kazam?
you
Or
don't-
whatever
only
the
I don't
heck
have a cool name like Kazam. But
Kazam Kenny. That's
Right.
So when the Red Crest Cup, back to it. What's the format, man? I'm not sure how that works. Do we know?
yeah, I'm not really sure either.
Okay.
But to the best, because and I say that in actual seriousness. That's not a joke.
No,
because
I know.
There was some changes just recently, so I know it's going to be 30 people. The top 30 from the points of the Bass Pro Tour from the
100%
the 8 regular season events, and there's going to be 10 people on the final day, and it's going to be a 5-day event. Now, how they are going to get the 30 to the 10 on the last day, not 100% sure. It's going to
Gotcha.
be super entertaining, I'll guarantee you. There's going to be cut lines. There's going to be people left out. It's going to be it's going to be really entertaining. But exactly how we're going to do it, I don't know.
And I love the format. I like seeing people catch fish. I do. I like seeing it. But I think we need to add some more things to the format, like
Bikini girls.
Bikini girls is one of them.
always.
Yes, I've been petitioning that forever.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. But like booby traps and stuff in the areas of the lakes.
I was thinking of not the same kind of booby trap you were thinking of right there. I'm sorry.
What kind do you think I'm thinking of?
I was led I was led astray.
So traps.
Right.
They're laying mysterious Bass Pro Tour booby traps everywhere.
That's awesome.
He was thinking actual boobies, I think.
There's a possibility.
So no, what can we do to
It's a
spice
theory.
it up? You got penalties and this and that. You
Well,
never see like in Jackass where that giant thing comes out. So Van Damme's coming around the corner and pow, he just gets popped, knocked out of his boat.
That would be pretty cool. Or another good one would be like, so you steal the remotes from their trolling motors.
Yeah.
And just when they're trying to fish, you just hit it on left and 100%, just like try to throw them out of the boat and stuff.
Or you play practical jokes and stick their power poles on down.
Yep.
Take
Take all the mapping chips out of the
Yeah.
And
graphs.
they're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But one of the things I think would be really good is just random penalties.
Random.
Yeah.
Shock therapy involved too.
Because they hate those penalties so bad, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, like, right when they get on a roll and start catching them, just be like, tap, 2-minute penalty. And they're like, what'd I do? Nothing.
Nothing. We just felt like it.
Yeah, it's just a 2-minute
Can
penalty.
we add electric shock too?
I think it would be
Dude,
cool.
I think it would be amazing because they're like making a flip and then it's like, yeah, exactly. It's just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah, and then boom, and now you're out for 5 minutes. Think about what you did. It's like getting grounded.
It sounds extremely entertaining.
Okay, well that's my idea too.
Oh, man.
All right.
So, if we steal that, then
I'll
it's
give it to you.
sweet.
I'll
I don't
give
know if we'll actually do it or not, but
No. Not going to do it?
I'd like to see it.
I mean, let's add more excitement.
I mean, I don't know what the 80 anglers are going to think. I'd like to see it.
Let's see how many clowns we can get in a bass boat. Or wait, we've already done that before,
Oh,
haven't we?
yeah.
We've
Yeah.
already done that.
We could all figure out who they are, too.
JT.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, no. I
Okay,
don't.
good.
Hey, dude, I think it's freaking amazing that you are such a fan of the sport that you're at this event, dude. I think it's pretty damn
yeah.
cool.
I mean, it's still, even though I did it for 22 years, I mean, it's my life. These people are my family. You know what I mean? Like, and of course, honestly, I probably wasn't going to be here if it wasn't, Thrift and Brian Thrift and Kyle Walters. But, it's just, now that I'm here, I'm glad. Like last night when I was making that plane reservation, I wasn't real happy about it. But now that I'm here, I'm stoked, and I'm ready to see how this thing hashes out.
Aren't we all, man? And I want to ask you this question to close with, and I always ask you this question, and I want to you change it a lot. You change things up because your life changes. Your life changes.
Me changing things around to fit what I want?
Yeah,
No,
you're a blossoming
no.
butterfly. You're coming from a Mothra to, Mothra that killed Godzilla. You remember that?
Yes.
To,
I don't, but
to,
go
to
ahead.
JT Kenney. So basically what I want to ask you is, if you were a wizard, in like a wizard club or something.
Can I stop you right there just for 1 second?
Yeah.
So if you look at Nichols Lures, it's the JT Kenney Signature Series Grass Wizard jig. So in fact,
you're welcome.
Pat, I am a wizard.
He is a wizard.
I'm not as dumb as I look.
Just saying.
You see what I did there, right?
Hashtag just saying.
Just
oh yeah, I got to dump a sponsor dump in there.
I figured we might as well.
Well, I threw a few Major League Fishings in there too.
Well,
so.
that was a given.
Right.
No, so I had to get you a little
Yeah.
wizard in there. But okay,
yeah.
so Mr. Wizard.
Well, and we talked about Ranger boats
and
too.
Ranger boats too.
Hey, did you see how beautiful Mercury's booth was this year?
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I just got here. I don't know if they have a booth or not.
I didn't see it either.
I don't know.
That sign says Mercury right there.
Yes,
See
there
that?
it is.
They have a Pro XS.
All right, we're covered.
Perfect.
So if you could change one thing about professional bass fishing, since you are a wizard, what would that
Everybody
wizardry
stop
bring?
whining.
Stop whining.
Everybody stop whining. Everybody, when you come across the stage or at MLF, the post-game show, stop making excuses. Just stop. It was too cloudy. Well, the winner thought it was perfect. Oh, it was too windy. Well, the winner thought it was perfect. It was too this or too that. Like, dude, just say, and in the last few years that I fished, I made it a point to do this.
And not a lot of people and organizations liked that, but I liked it.
I made it a point to say, I didn't figure out how the fish changed today, and I didn't make the proper adjustments. I did a lot of stuff that I thought was right, but apparently it wasn't. Just everybody blaming the jet skiers, blaming the boat traffic, blaming this, blaming that, blaming. Hey, it's the same playing field for everybody.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Just
and
they didn't figure it out.
Right. Just it's okay. We're going. All 52 anglers in the FLW Cup knew coming into this thing only one guy was going to win. So stop making excuses. You just weren't the winner this time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay.
I was leading the thing for the first 2 days. And
Nice.
I blew it.
Apparently, you're sitting here. You should have been out there.
I know.
You let Thrift pass you.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's a bad idea.
Who does
Pat.
that?
I know.
Yeah.
And here I'm just hosting a damn talk show.
Right.
Sitting
Yeah.
here talking to JT Kenney.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
It's cooler in here. It's really hot outside. Did you notice that?
It's balling. It's thick.
It's like the surface of the sun out there.
It is. If you,
You can almost swim.
if you
I really didn't like walking from the plane to the rental car place. Like
your feet
that was
burned.
It was awful. Like those guys had to stand out there and fishing that all day. Jiminy Christmas.
You never done that. Ladies and gentlemen, this, again, I'm going to use this overused term, world famous
Wow.
JT Kenney. Right there.
And the crowd goes
They go
wild.
nuts.
Listen to that.
JT Kenney.
Yes, ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
JT Kenney.
Ladies and
Look.
gentlemen, here we go.
Look, it's JT Kenney. Anything you want to say to the Bass Galaxy before we get out of here?
Just honestly, Pat, keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Thank you.
Seriously,
very
it's,
much.
It's very enlightening compared to most of the boring stuff that happens in this sport. Jake out.
Peace. Hey,
Thanks,
I'm
man.
Pat Renwick, JT Kenney, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, JP High, Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja. Thank you to all that joined us at this 2019 FLW Cup. Thank you, FLW, for allowing us to be the bad cousin table at the wedding once again and bring us here to this event. It's amazing. We appreciate it so much. Again, follow Straycast on Instagram, Facebook, the YouTubes. We have a YouTube channel. I just found that out. We're YouTubers. Well, thank you. JT just said he hasn't watched any of them either, so thank you. I haven't either. Honestly, I don't watch my show either. But hey, find us anywhere. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All our sponsors who made it possible for us to be here. This is like the Oscars, you know, where they do the thing at the end.
Yeah, the music's playing.
And the music's playing. But they already wanted me off. But I'm going to keep going because it's my show, JT, and I have you trapped basically right here. Right? We could do like a football deal, and you could pummel me for the.
I'm a pretty big boy.
I'm not scared of you, JT. I'm not scared of you, JT.
You should be. You should be.
Hey, again, remember, it's only bass fishing. That's what we love. That's why we do this. Bass Galaxy, I bid you peace. We'll see you 2 Wednesdays from now from the Straight Cast Studio.